On a sunny September night in Napanee, you are looking at Jim Andrews Field, where tonight the Northern Lakes Conference season opens up as the 6th-ranked Northwood Panthers entertain the Concord Minutemen on this edition of the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? With the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt, Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel has the week off. The Concord Minutemen come in with a record of 1-1. Their offense has been on the struggle bus, no question about it, but their defense has been outstanding.
Yeah, their offense is going to need to get going here tonight because Northwood's going to throw up a lot of points. But that defense, with that linebacking crew that they have, I really think that's the key to their win tonight, is really performing, really shutting that offense down, and maybe having a turnover or two.
And moments ago, Craig Kaler spoke with Bo about this Northwood team.
Yeah, it's just the whole group. As I told Chuck earlier this week, they're a complete team. They're good in special teams. They run around on defense, and obviously they have a lot of talent on offense. They're a good football team, and you know, we are going to have to make some one-on-one tackles tonight to be in the game, because they do that to you offensively.
Northwood is 2-0. They are ranked number 6 in the coaches poll. And a lot of people want to talk about their offense, understandably so. I've been very impressed with the defense of Nate Andrews' squad so far. What about you?
Yeah, I am too. I think they got a really good defense, but I got to talk about the offense as well. The wide receivers that they have, the running back, the quarterback, the weapons that they have, the ability to score at will pretty much, big plays, drive it down, sustain some drives, take up some clock. This offense is something else.
And actually, all 3 phases of the game are in mode right now for Nate Andrews.
No, not necessarily. I think all 3 phases have been good at times, and I've obviously struggled at times. I think our kicking game with our kicker, Dominic DeFritis, and some of the coverage units has been really good for us, which is nice, and that helps us a ton.
These 2 teams are perennial contenders for the Northern Lakes Conference title, which makes tonight a very big game.
Yeah, when you're looking at the start of the NLC, you got only 4 teams that are going to have wins tonight and 4 losses. So 4 teams are going to be undefeated. And when you only have 1 loss or 2 losses in the conference, that's going to be huge, especially at the start of the season.
The calendar has turned to September. That's when real football begins. We're happy to bring it to you tonight with our St. Joseph County Police Department pregame show and the Jordan Automotive keys to win. And it comes your way next on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Interra Credit Union, HealthLink, Jordan Automotive Group, TCU, Electrical Workers, Crown Trophy, St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome to the St. Joe County Police Department pregame show. All kinds of antics from the Red Regiment on the field before the game as they entertain a big crowd here at Andrews Field for this Northern Lakes Conference lid lifter. Time now to look at our keys to win, which are brought to you by the aforementioned Jordan Auto Group. And we'll start with the Concord Minutemen, who have a great 2-way player by the name of Armin Koltukian. Now, we're used to see him as a linebacker, and he still does that, was junior All-State a year ago. But look at him. Well, he can catch that ball. 7 catches this year to lead the Minutemen in receptions. Good for 85 yards. And he'll get some help in the backfield from Titus Hackworth, the leading ball carrier on this team. 5'9", 185, a senior, also a very good linebacker. But Hackworth ran for 105 yards last week against Jimtown. The keys to win for the Minutemen.
Well, the keys tonight for Concord, they need to start quickly. They need to put some points on the board early and often. Move the chains. They need to sustain some drives and get first down after first down, run that clock, and they need to win on special teams, whether it's a blocked punt, a big return, and get good field position.
The Northwood Panthers have run out onto Jim Andrews Field, and they're getting ready to plant the flag on their sideline, and they have a number of weapons. The guy that normally starts for them at quarterback is Caden Lone, 5'11", 180-pound senior. But Nate Andrews likes to move him all over the field, so don't be surprised if maybe he starts at running back tonight, or maybe he just plays some defense. They like to get him all over the field, very versatile performer. And then they've got a kid committed to Ball State by the name of Ethan Evers, 6'1", 208-pound beast of a linebacker. They'll put him in the backfield for short yardage situations. Evers, like Koltukian, junior All-State a year ago. The keys to win for the veteran Nate Andrews and the Panthers.
Yeah, the key to win tonight for Northwood, match and surpass their intensity. Make sure they come out with some fire and sustain that throughout the game. Get takeaways. They want to be aggressive at the ball, stripping at it at all times, and be balanced on offense. They don't want to be just a running team or a passing team. Use all facets of the game and make sure they are balanced throughout.
There you see that Panther flag. Hey, before we give you the series history, very interesting coin used for the coin flip tonight by referee Tommy Tykes. Tommy, a Vietnam veteran, and celebrated the 40th anniversary 4 years ago of the Vietnam Veterans of America. So he used that for the coin flip, which, by the way, was won by Northwood. They will receive down at the west end of Andrews Field. The series led by Northwood 31-23, pretty much on the strength of the fact that they won the first 7 in the rivalry back when the school was formed in '69. But last year, Concord won a dandy in overtime, 30-29. Over at Jake Field in Dunlap. The weather tonight sponsored by our friends at Cook's Pizza. Just another perfect night for football. 80 degrees, gentle zephyr out of the southeast at 8 miles an hour, and not one chance that the few clouds we have in the area will bring any raindrops tonight. Still waiting for Concord to make its entrance, but when they do, Bo, they'll be decked out.
They sure will, and that's a check on the uniforms for the game, brought to you by St. Andrews Products. The home team tonight, the Northwood Panthers, they're wearing the black jerseys, black pants, black helmets, white numbers and trim. And the visiting team, the Concord Minutemen, wearing the white jerseys, their gray pants and gray numbers, and their coveted green helmets. These teams look great, and so can your team. For the finest in apparel and promotional products, contact St. Andrews Products at sales@standrewscorp.com.
We mentioned our officiating crew. There's Tommy Tykes in the white hat, Dennis Groening, John Kraszewski, Chuck Pointer, and John Wilson working with them. Let me tell you about this crew. There is an 80-year-old official on this crew tonight. I'm not going to give away which one it is, but that should be a sign to you that there is a need for younger people to be involved in high school officiating. So if you're done with your high school career, maybe you're going to college, maybe you're just starting working the job, what a great way to help the game you once played and make a few extra bucks on the side. But nobody does it for the money.
Yeah, I just got a chance to talk to Tommy Tykes there. You just got to see him right there. He came back. He gave it up in 2016, but there was a need for officiating out there, so he decided to come back. He's been around. He's done a lot of arena football, a lot of professional football stuff, and came back, did high school football just because of that need out there. So if you have an interest, make sure you get out there and sign up, that's for sure.
And here come the Minutemen at the very last minute to take the field. With under a minute left on the clock, Concord finally comes out of the locker room. I don't know if Craig Kaler was getting extra fiery for the pregame talk or just wanted to keep him out of the evening heat. But whatever the case, the Minutemen finally making their way onto Jim Andrews Field. Concord 1-1. They lost their opener to Elkhart 33-0. Came back and won last week against the Jimtown Jimmies, one of their big rivalry games, by a count of 14-0. I think the 33 on the board by Elkhart, a little bit deceiving for Concord, though. Their offense struggled so much that Elkhart frequently had short fields to go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that with that game is the field position wasn't in their favor at all and was in Elkhart's, and that's why the score was kind of like that. But one thing to really consider tonight, we saw last night's Michigan game, was the heat index tonight as well, and making sure the kids got plenty of fluids in their systems this week, because cramping is a thing, especially coming to week 3 and you have this heat index that's up there in the mid-80s for this game.
So in other words, drain that water tower that we just saw. Northwood started off the season at Jimtown. They won that one 31-7, the 10th straight time they've beaten the Jimmies. And then they came here to Andrews Field for the home opener last week, and they beat East Noble 35-14. Now, Luke Amstutz normally has a pretty strong team at East Noble. I know there's some talk that the Knights might be a little bit down this year, But still, that was a solid all-around performance by the Panthers last week.
Yeah, and I think this is the game to really test them here tonight. You know, Concord does come in at 1-1, but you look at this, and it's an opener for the NLC. These two teams are, you know, not bitter rivals, but they are rivals, and it's the opening game of the NLC, and they both want to win very bad.
We have already seen Mishawaka play. We may see Warsaw during the regular season. I would say those two, along with the two teams here tonight and Northridge, those are the 5 that comprise the upper part of the NLC. Put you on the spot. Who do you like up top?
All 5. I'll take the political answer, but no, I mean there's some, and they're different aspects of each one of those teams that qualifies them to be kind of the favorites to win the NLC. So, I mean, I think it's all going to pan out in probably the first 3 to 4 weeks of the conference. So here, week 3, week 4, week 5. By week 6, 7, we will probably know who's going to be leading or who's going to win this conference.
And honestly, if you look at our schedule online on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and you see all those TBDs, I think one of the key games to set our schedule the rest of the way will be in week 5 while we're doing Elkhart Penn. Warsaw will be playing Northwood. And the result of that game, quite frankly, will probably dictate some of where we wind up going, especially in week 6 or 7. There you see Nate Andrews. His 16th year as a head coach, his 9th here at Northwood. He's done a heck of a job with this program. You can see the intensity, the energy that he brings. He is a bouncing ball on the sidelines. Craig Kaler, 8th year at Concord, 52-24. He's been at Concord a long time, was the defensive coordinator under Tim Dawson. And it's just good to see Craig on the sidelines after all the health scares he had during the pandemic. He had 2 bouts of COVID. He had triple bypass surgery before last season. Doesn't like to talk about that stuff, but the fact of the matter is he's a great guy, very easy for us to work with, and it's nice to see him healthy again.
Especially, yeah, seeing that health, seeing that smile on his face, and you know, chatting him up before the game, just how down to earth both these coaches are. I mean, they both have some different personalities on the sidelines, but you know, couldn't ask for 2 better coaches in tonight's game to talk to.
And really 2 family-first guys.
Yes.
There's no question about that. So there you see Miguel Aguiar. He is the kicker for Concord. He's had a couple of touchbacks this year, and he'll be kicking with a breeze, sort of a crosswind, but mostly behind him. Natarian Tuggle is the deep man for the Northwood Panthers. He had an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week, in which it appeared that 16 East Noble tackles were missed, which is impressive considering there are only 11 guys on the field. Aguiar awaits the whistle. And we're ready for Northern Lakes Conference action on a beautiful night for football in Napanee. Glad you've joined us for this one on TV 46. Toe meets left. And that'll hurtle all the way to Wakarusa as it goes out of the end zone for the touchback. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Northwood Panthers. And indeed, there is a change at quarterback as Owen Rader will take the snaps tonight for the Northwood Panthers. Rader made 4 starts last year for Northwood. 5'10", 167-pound junior. So far this year, just 1 of 2 for 8 yards. But he had some big numbers for the Panthers in the starts he made. We saw him at Northridge last year after Caden Lone got hurt.
Yeah, he kind of got thrown in the mix when Caden Lone got hurt and just got thrown out there, but did a fantastic job really coming in and trying to get some playing time.
But you see number 8 is out there, so Caden Lone will line up in the running back position that's normally held by Wes Yoder. And that could lead to all kinds of chicanery here for the Northwood offense early on. Concord jumps off sides, perhaps thrown off a little bit, and gives up an early 5-yard penalty. I'm sure once 12 and 8 lined up in the backfield together, and we've seen teams do this before, most notably that South Bend Washington team that Antoine Jones took to state about 11 years ago. On 1st and 5, Rader in the flat. Has Natarian Tuggle. They want to get him touches. You can see why. He's explosive. They call him Nitro. And he goes boom on the first play.
What a great job of cutting back against the grain on that play after he got it. He saw all the pursuit, was able to get out and really come across there.
That is good for 33 yards. And you get another look on the more custom drain cleaning replay. And look at the elusiveness of Tuggle. Now back to live action, 1st and 10 at the 42. Rader now coming up to the line. He wants to change the play based on the Concord defense. Rader pump fakes. He wants to go deep to J.J. Payne. And Payne was held by Deshaun Emerson.
That was 6 if he wasn't holding on to him right from the start of that play. You could see him being held.
Here is the thing about this Northwood receiving corps. They are full-grown men, even though they are high school players. J.J. Payne, they signaled the penalty against Payne from Northwood. They said he reached around with the arm to try to get past Emerson.
Wow.
That is an interesting call, but the replay shows may have been the right one. So the ball will be marched back. Offensive pass interference is a 15-yard penalty. As you see the Concord construction crew over there enjoying that penalty on the Panthers. It's all of a sudden 1st and 25. Emerson did not initiate the contact. That must be said.
Yeah, that is true. It looked like he kind of maybe had a face guard there and really got in front of him. But, you know, going back to that replay, it did look like he maybe got away with an offensive one or didn't get away with the offensive pass interference.
1st and 25. They try to go over the top, and here's a flag coming in from the side. And the pass interference was just given back. They tried to go to Keegan's stats that time. And this one will be against the Minutemen for 15. While all the penalties get sorted out, let's meet the Northwood offense. Wes Yoder, normally the starting halfback. Caden Lone getting that honor tonight. You see those receivers, Natarian Tuggle and J.J. Payne, both all-conference last year. Montana Green, the bell cow of that offensive line that features returning starters Jace Adams and Wesley Menzie as well. That's an automatic 1st down on the pass interference. And our first quarter tonight being sponsored by 574 Technologies. 38 seconds in, we've had a lot of action already. Rader again in the backfield. From the gun. Pumps going for Natarian Tuggle. And Tuggle makes the grab. Touchdown, Northwood. It's sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. And Natarian Tuggle wasting little time to put on a show on 46.
Northwood not afraid to take the long shot. 3 times now they've tried to go downfield with that pump fake. Finally succeed with the big play to Tuggle.
Tuggle with 2 catches for 75 yards on an 80-yard drive. Not shabby.
Definitely shows what this offense is all about.
The extra point lined up for Dominic DeFreitas. And DeFreitas' kick is up and good. We have played 46 seconds, and Northwood is already on the scoreboard. The fireworks going off, and supplied by the one they call Nitro. 7-0 Panthers on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by Intera Credit Union. Excellence, integrity, and invested. The Concord Minutemen see their sturdy defense shelled in the first 46 seconds of this one for a couple of long bombs to Natarian Tuggle, and it's 7-0.
I think with that Concord defense, they were expecting maybe a little bit of running in that first series rather than trying to go up top 3 out of the 4 plays there. When your Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your family or your whole team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. A big thank you goes out to Cook's Pizza for feeding the production crew prior to tonight's game.
It was an 80-yard drive that only had 2 plays. The pass to Tuggle for 33, the pass to Tuggle for 42, and the touchdown. There you see Dominic DeFreitas, an excellent kicker for this Northwood team. He has kicked 3 touchbacks this year, perfect in PATs. The deep men for Concord, Juan Ross and Deshaun Emerson. Hoping to make a big play here. DeFreitas line drive kick that Ross will fumble at the 10 and go down at the 11. Not the kind of special teams play Craig Kaler was looking for.
No, that's one of the keys to win for them is really completing on special teams, competing and making sure you get field position. And on a kickoff like that, you got to go get that ball. You can't just sit back on it. You got to try to get it on that first hop, because by the time you wait, that defense is going to get down there.
They'll spot it at the 12 with Hudson Glantz at quarterback, the 6', 155 sophomore, completing just over 50% of his passes so far for 259 yards and a touchdown, but he has been picked 2 times, and he has been sacked 12. Titus Hackworth is his running back in the backfield. But Glantz wants to throw on first down over the middle, nobody home. He was looking for Armin Koltukian and overthrew him.
Koltukian got jammed at the line by Ethan Evers. It was a great job of really jamming him. You can hopefully see that. Maybe we don't have that, but it was a great jam on Koltukian.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. It was an interesting formation that time for Concord. They only had the 5 linemen in tight, going 3 wide and 1 to the outside here. Now they're going to run right at Northwood, and Hackworth, who's got some big, strong legs, carries tacklers up to the 15-yard line. Let's meet the Concord offense. We told you about Glantz at quarterback, Hackworth the leading ball carrier, Koltukian the leading receiver. Along the offensive line, they got some size at the tackles. Mackay Hall, 330-pound senior. Lance Army, 260-pound senior and a 3-year starter. 3rd and 7. Glantz to throw. Has time. Out in the flat. Has his man, but short of the first down. Excellent tackle made out there, as Northwood came up with a stop from Trey Woods up at the 20, and will quickly meet the Northwood defense before this 4th down play. Jesse Wilson helps lead the charge on the defensive line. Ben Fatarusso, the leading tackler among the linebackers. J.J. Payne has already broken up 6 passes this season for Northwood. And it's a punting situation for Concord, which means Miguel Aguiar, who averages over 41 yards a kick, stares into the sun to get the snap with J.J. Payne, the deep man. Aguiar gets it out of there. Boy, that's a high hanger, and J.J. Payne will wisely get away from that one. It'll take a Concord roll and die at the 38-yard line. So a 42-yard kick with no return.
That was just a great punt. You could see the ball turn over in the air. A lot of times you'll see that spiral, but that ball doesn't turn over. When you get the ball to turn over, it's another 7 to 10 yards every time that ball turns over.
Well, Aguiar, one of a long line of Concord kickers who have fared well over the years, but what a entry to the game for Owen Rader. 2 for 2 for 75 yards on that opening drive. Not that Caden Lone is a bad passer, because he's not. He's a very good passer, but Northwood has the luxury of 2 outstanding quarterbacks, so why not keep them both happy?
Yeah, and if you can get Lone some action running the ball or getting him out of the flats or something like that on a reception, helps the offense even more.
Rader hands off to Wes Yoder, and Yoder went to turn and wound up getting turned. As Cody Byler comes up with a stop, and we meet this Concord defense. Chris Adams having a great year at nose tackle for the Minutemen. That linebacking core is very solid. Joseph Moon, an underrated player in there. And then in the secondary, obviously getting tested tonight. Keep your eyes on Darian Decker, the senior safety. Pickup of only a yard on the play for Yoder. It's 2nd and 9. Rader letting everybody know the play at the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 5. Here's Rader with the pump fake again. Wants to go deep. Has a man out there. J.J. Payne had it taken away by Juan Ross. Juan Ross down the sideline. Juan Ross all the way into Northwood territory at the 45, and there's a flag that comes in behind the play. Juan Ross with a great play at cornerback. He gives away 3 inches to Payne, but waited for JJ to bring that ball down and then just ripped it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was expecting Payne to come away with that. He had it all in his hands. Here you can see a more custom cleaning replay. Great pass, gets it up in the air, gets nice air under it. Payne goes up for it. Both hands, thumbs together. Great job bringing it down. He just rips it out of his hands. Great defensive play.
As a big-time play by Ross. A block in the back called against the Minutemen will push them back to their own 38-yard line, and Craig Kaler is hot about that on the Concord sideline. Now let's see what the Minutemen try to do to respond. Titus Hackworth could not get around Kanye King. The King, a 6'5", 219-pound senior, gets his first tackle for loss of the season, a -3 that time for Hackworth.
Concord trying to speed up their offense just a little bit, hustling up to the line, trying to get a little bit of momentum going.
2nd and 13. Glance looking for an open man, but down he goes. There was no blocking Ethan Evers that time. My goodness.
He came on a blitz straight up the middle. You can see right here on the more custom drain cleaning replay right there. Just, yeah, you ain't moving out of that way.
Holy smokes. Check the chicklets. Evers committed to Ball State, and when Tyler Stockton, the assistant coach down there, sees that one, he's going to have a big old grin on his face. 3rd and 17. Glance, pump fakes. He's looking for a man, and Ben Fatarusso nearly had himself an interception as he breaks up the pass intended for Javion Shepard.
Miller's Senior Living Community in Wakarusa is a proud supporter of the Northwood High School football team. Miller's provides short-term rehab, assisted living, and long-term care to our seniors. Serving Elkhart County and the surrounding communities. Find out more at millersmarymanor.com. Go Panthers!
So Concord will again turn to its punter, Miguel Aguiar. J.J. Payne, the deep man, standing back at his 37. Low snap, but Aguiar gets it out of there. This one more of a wobbler, but again, Payne's going to let it hit. Oh, he got it at the 40 in full stride. Look out. Northwood worked on that extensively at practice on Tuesday, trying to catch balls on one hop. Payne obviously learned the lesson well and gets a 24-yard punt return.
I mean, that's a great job. If you're able to work on that, you can see right here on the replay, just a great job. He picks it up at the 40, and he picks up 25 extra yards on that. Just the field position alone on that is huge.
Now, does Northwood look for the home run ball right off the bat here off the big play?
Well, they've been going up top for most of the game already. First 2 series, they've been trying 3 times, 4 times already.
Rader has completed 3 passes tonight. The problem is one of them was to the other team. The 2 he completed
now,
to his
granted,
own.
Do you call that an interception or do you call that a fumble?
Well, the ball never hit the ground. Typically, that's what has to happen on a fumble.
Yeah.
So it was picked out of the air. It's an interception. Rader will pump fake, and he get hit, and down he goes. Concord answers with a blitz of its own, and they send Joe Moon in there. And Joseph Moon, who is the sectional 100-meter champion, wasted little time on the sprint as he caught Rader in midair for a loss of 12.
I think that's a good job of actually not throwing that football, because he was going to have to hurry it and just kind of loft it up there. And it was a good job. Just take the sack and live another day.
But don't jump.
Yeah.
2nd and 22. They'll keep it on the ground. Nope, Rader's going to try to get away and finds Wes Yoder, and Yoder puts some moves on. And he gets knocked out of bounds by Juan Ross at the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Tonight's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink. Taking care of your mental health is as important as your physical health. Schedule a checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and behavioral health, regardless of your ability to pay. That's HealthLink.
Actually make it 3rd and 6 for Northwood from the 32-yard line. Rader with a lot of clapping, and finally Concord jumps offside. So the third penalty of the night on the Minutemen for 25 yards, and all of a sudden Northwood in business now with a 3rd and 1. Some great moves by Yoder on that 18-yard pickup.
Yeah, that was a great scramble. Good job of really getting away and actually finding the running back right there and dumping it off. I mean, he was probably dead in the backfield and he'll lose some yards there.
Well, both Rader and Yoder at one
Yoder
point had 3 guys around him.
Yeah.
And more movement by the Minutemen, and they fire offside and basically give Northwood a 1st down. They are trying to read the rhythm of Owen Rader's snap count, and Rader is smartly altering that rhythm.
Yeah, changing it up, and that's what you got to do. You got to make sure you work on that at practice so the linemen know that as well.
And Craig Kaler wants a timeout to try to settle his defense down with 6:42 to go in the 1st quarter, and Northwood knocking at the door, already leading 7-0 on 46. And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating. They're keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Concord with 3 offside penalties already in the 1st quarter. 4 penalties overall for 30 yards. So Craig Kaler trying to settle down. While it has been a very good defense so far this year, it is an inexperienced group. Only 3 starters back from last year, and I think it's starting to show.
A little bit, but I think their defensive line is getting a lot of pressure and getting in there. The problem is when you're going against 2 wide receivers like Northwood has here, and your secondary isn't as experienced as you would like them, you're going to have trouble in that category.
Parker Philly in the game now as one of the wide receivers for Northwood. So you've got receivers that go 6'4", 6'3", 6'2". And Aaron Wolf would like to remind people that basketball season starts in November. It's Rader himself on a keeper, and he will get all the way up to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the play. I believe it's Koltukian who brought him down.
Don't let a clogged drain ruin your pipes. Call More Custom Drain Cleaning. It only takes 1 clog to cause disaster. If you need a drain cleaning service, turn to the experts at More Custom Drain Cleaning. They offer professional drain cleaning services throughout Elkhart County. Go Panthers.
That's MOR Custom Drain Cleaning. There's Rader going up top. Natarian Tuggle juggles and drops, and photographers get hats taken off, and it's pretty ugly down there. Tuggle already has 1 touchdown catch tonight, and Rader throws a beautiful ball, and Tuggle just couldn't quite handle it, and then the photographer was lucky that he only lost the cap.
I see why Nate Andrews doesn't have Cade Lone in there all the time and has Rader in there subbing here and there for different starts, because he throws a nice deep ball.
3rd down now. This could be a big stop for Concord if they could force a field goal here. And they're certainly within range for Dominic DeFreitas, the kicker. But Rader wants to convert. Pump fake throw to Tuggle, and it was behind him, and Deshaun Emerson able to get his hands on it and break it up.
That was a great defensive play there. Throw just a little behind him. He was open in front if the pass would have been in front. But just a good job of really getting the hand in there. Here you can see More Custom Drain Cleaning. That's MOR, More Custom Drain Cleaning.
And if that ball is out in front of them, they're playing the fight song right now. Instead, Dominic DeFreitas, who is 3 of 3 on field goals with a long of 48, will come on for a 33-yarder into the breeze, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference to this young man who punches it right on through. And it's 10-0 Northwood with 5:59 to go in the 1st quarter. The field goal sponsored by Lori Sumter with Bill Hahn and Associates. Boy, DeFreitas, a nice weapon to have. Northwood has had some pretty good kickers in the past. The one that comes to mind is Ryan Burkhardt, who wound up at Notre Dame. But DeFreitas has just about as good a range as anybody.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times in the last few years, Nate's been like, we're just going for 2 all the time, and has just done away with the kicking game. But it's nice to have a kicker and the ability right here in that situation right there, put points on the board rather than trying to go for it.
So a 10-0 Northwood lead. Concord is yet to get a first down in the first 2 possessions. And they have not been able to give Hudson Glantz a ton of protection either. Get the feeling that Lalo Rollan and Sam Vaughn, the offensive coordinators for this squad, are going to have to test this running game some more. They've only had 3 carries so far, and one of those is the sack on Glantz.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things they really need to do is that offensive line has to get going and has to make sure they move the ball down the field so the contact isn't happening in the backfield. It's happening 2 or 3 yards downfield. Here to protect and serve our community, St. Joseph County Police Department is hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
There you see Dominic DeFreitas. As he gets ready to kick it off again, it'll be Deshaun Emerson and Juan Ross back deep. This time, Emerson comes over to the near side where Ross was last time. We'll see if that makes any kind of a change. (10-0 Northwood, 5:59 to go first quarter. Here's DeFreitas on the approach. And he booms this one back into the end zone for the touchback. That'll be his 4th touchback of the season. And Concord will have it 1st and 10 at the 20.
Miller Senior Living Community in Wakarusa is a proud supporter of Northwood High School athletics. Miller's Wakarusa is also excited to announce that Elodia Guevara was elected as a Nursing Assistant of the Year by the Indiana Healthcare Association. Miller provides short-term rehab, assisted living, and long-term care to our seniors. Go Panthers.
We always appreciate having them on the team. Caden Lone now comes into the game to go play cornerback. So I told you, you'll see him all over the field tonight for Northwood. He is their Swiss Army knife. Hudson Glantz will pitch it out to Titus Hackworth, and Hackworth had no blocking in front of him. Kanye King came down from the defensive end spot and was able to make the stop behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. 3 carries, 2 yards so far for Hackworth, and if the running game doesn't get going, it could be a long night for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and I think Evers really knocked off a block and really solidified that run there. Make sure right there again coming in the backfield, just the pressure.
But Glantz fires, and a nice catch is made for a first down, sponsored by KZRV. As the catch made by Connor Morris, his first grab of the year for the 5'11", 160-pound senior. Good presence of mind here by Hudson Glantz for the pickup of 12.
Yeah, great job. And Northwood Concord hustling up the line, trying to get that momentum going and hurry up offense.
Glantz, though, dropped the snap.
Oh, it's still on the ground.
And it's Northwood's football. Nobody picked it up in the Concord backfield. And Northwood had Keith Miller right there to create the 6th turnover of the season for the Panthers.
Balls like that, you don't try to pick up. You just jump on them. Take the loss. Don't go down to pick it up. Oh, he got pushed out of the way by the running back. Didn't see the ball on the ground.
Hackworth kept coming as though he was expecting the handoff. And in doing so, he knocked Glantz out of the way. Keith Miller was there, and the Panthers are sitting pretty at the Minuteman 26, up 10-zip.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
Caden Lone, halfback pass. He'll find J.J. Payne. Touchdown, Northwood. That's what Lone brings to the table when you can line him up at halfback. They made it look way too easy. Everybody bites on the run, and Payne is lonely for 6.
Just like that, Northwood puts their 3rd score on the board. Scoring sponsored by Lori Sumter and Phil Hahn and Associates for Northwood.
117 passing yards in the first 7 minutes plus. DeFreitas on for the extra point. It is up and it'll spin on through. And just like that, it is 17-0 Northwood. And the Panthers unleashing all the weapons on offense tonight.
KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ, a top RV manufacturer, is built on the foundation of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career.
The touchdown sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. Well, maybe it shouldn't surprise us that Northwood is off to this great start, because the home team has won the last 7 meetings between these two teams. And it looks like number 8 might be unfolding in front of us right now.
Yeah, when you look at that stat, it doesn't surprise you with the conference, that the way it is with the NLC. Concord, Northwood, Plymouth's usually in that mix, Warsaw, now Mishawaka. You're going to play better at home, and you always do.
But what an offensive explosion by Northwood, who, let's face it, for years, and I'm going to say pretty much 50, was known as a running football team. I mean, Jim Andrews liked to keep it on the ground. Rich Dodson pretty much liked to keep it on the ground. Now, he had some quarterbacks like Charlie Rader and Trey Belinsky that would air it out a little bit. Skylar Titus even a little bit.
Yep.
But not like what we're seeing here tonight.
No, it was more 80-20 run to pass rather than 90-10 like it is tonight.
And DeFreitas knocks that one into the end zone for the touchback. So again, Concord pinned back to the 20, and that's what a good kicker can do for you. He's really a weapon in terms of field position.
Yeah, that field position is crucial, especially when you haven't been really gaining anything like Concord and getting that momentum. We talked about them moving the chains as one of their keys to win, sustaining some drives, and they haven't been able to do a whole lot tonight.
So Hudson Glantz and the Minutemen have their hands full here. Already a 17-point deficit. The one piece of good news for them, they got time to get back in it if they can get things figured out on offense. Only 1 first down so far. Glantz keeps it himself and falls down because there's a wall of Northwood jerseys there, including Luke Miller, the linebacker, who comes up and makes the stop.
The majority of this whole first quarter has been played on this half of the field, and that tells you about the field position that Northwood's had throughout this first quarter.
Concord has run the ball 5 times. 3 of them have been for negative yardage. Glantz to throw. He got hit by Ethan Evers. He finds a receiver, but that receiver brought down nicely by Keith Miller, and then a flag comes out. It was Armin Koltukian on the grab, but we'll see what the flag is all about.
Yeah, a flag came in by the side judge there. Not sure if there was a face mask at the end or maybe just a sideline warning.
It is a sideline warning against Northwood. And Nate Andrews with a big grin on his face. I wonder if they had a little pool as to how early that would be called by Dennis Groening tonight. So no penalty on the play. Glantz gets credit for a 1-yard or a 2-yard completion, I should say. And it's 3rd and 10. Glantz to throw. This time he's got lots of time, just can't find anybody open. Now he zips it into no man's land, and it's incomplete. He was hoping to get it to Titus Hackworth, who was well covered by Luke Miller on the play.
Wouldn't it be great to work for a company where their employees are the most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance, because Rushcore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. To learn more about joining the Rushcore family and a $1,000 sign-on bonus, visit rushcore.com. That's RESCHCOR.com.
The good news for Miguel Aguiar, it's clouded up a little bit so he doesn't have to stare into the sun. That's about the only good news right now for Concord. J.J. Payne waits back at his own 40, had a nice 25-yard punt return the last time. Aguiar with a high spinner. The Payne will take it as 45. Payne stutter steps and couldn't get around all the white jerseys as Concord slings him down right there at the 45. It was Jaron Thomas that came in and made the hit.
Still just great field possession for Northwood at the 45-yard line, though.
Always a great monument here when we come to Jim Andrews Field. That water tower with the Northwood logo, it has become an iconic part of this stadium, the home of the Black Crunch. And another beautiful night for football. We could get one of those patented Northwood sunsets here in just a little bit. As we join you from our perch high atop Jim Andrews Field, Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt. Bob Nagel has the week off, and pretty impressive performance by the Panthers
so far, but there's a lot of time, only 4 minutes left in the first quarter still, so a lot of times for Northwood for Concord to really come back. They need to stop right here, though. I mean, they absolutely need to stop right here.
Owen Rader hands it off. Wes Yoder jitterbugs his way through the Concord defense and is finally brought down at the 49-yard line after a pickup of 7 yards. Yoder came into this game as the leading rusher for Northwood. He had 99 yards last week against East Noble. And as you might guess from those shifty feet, the junior is not only a sprinter, but a wrestler. And I think the footwork from wrestling helps you as much in any other sport for football.
It does, and we've seen a lot of wrestlers, especially state final wrestlers, on a lot of these high school teams that are great fullbacks, running backs, linebackers.
Now Yoder is cut down short of the first down here as he's brought down at the 47-yard line. Armin Koltukian and Darian Decker get over there to make the stop. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yep. The Elkhart Child Development Center is now accepting children ages 1 to 5 for educational-based child care. They accept Bright Point vouchers. Go Minutemen.
3 receivers to the left of Owen Rader. Concord finally seems to have solved the problem of jumping offside, at least for the time being. Play clock is now down to 5. And Rader finally got the snap just before, finds Keegan Stats, and Stats is short of the first down. It appears a flag comes in from the side judge, Dennis Groening, and we'll see what this is all about. It's a block in the back against Northwood, and that'll cost them a possible first down. We'll see if we can pick it up here on the more custom drain. Oh, yeah. It was pretty obvious. Seth Russell came in and just said, "You're going down."
Yeah. And that's going to be called only 9 out of 10 times, though.
So you're saying not every crew is as good as this one?
No, because if it's on the interior lineman, they're not going to ever see that every time.
Sure.
But on that play right there, they would call it every time, right in front of them.
3rd and 10. Rader just wanted some more room to juice the passing stats here. Now it's Wes Yoder on the ground, and Wes Yoder couldn't get away from the big paws of Lance Army there at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 4th down in what would appear to be a punting situation for Northwood. And Caden Lone, who handles that duty, comes out onto the field. Lone was a junior all-state punter a year ago. He averages 40 yards a kick. Going back deep for Concord, it'll be Connor Morris, who stands back at his 20. Good snap, and they're going to get a roughing the kicker penalty. As this ball will roll down inside the 8, but it's immaterial. Concord took a poor angle on the punt and wound up roughing Caden Lone.
Personal foul. Yep.
15 yards and a first down for Northwood. And you'll get another look at this one, and this will get called 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, when you're looking at this, you see how he goes high and jumps up. You need to jump out and go after that ball, because he actually could have blocked that ball if he would have dove Superman style rather than trying to jump up like you're blocking a basketball.
Concord now with 5 penalties for 45 yards tonight. And they just gave this Northwood offense another shot at moving the football as it'll go all the way up to the Concord 40-yard line.
15 yards to the line of scrimmage on that penalty.
So 1st and 10 from the 40, and Craig Kaler shaking his head over on the other side. Still a minute 46 to go in this first quarter, which has been complete and utter domination by Northwood. Owen Rader sees a blitzer coming, gets away. Now, what will he do? He'll tuck it under, and he'll be sacked for a loss of 1.
Looked like they were trying to go backside to Tuggle, and he had man-to-man coverage, but he was bundled up definitely down the sideline.
Chris Adams gets in to get his first sack of the year. Adams, a 5'11", 245-pound junior defensive tackle. 2nd and 11. Nate Andrews looks on from the sidelines. His 9th year here at Northwood. A 1996 Northwood grad. It's Yoder trying to go up the middle. Getting a little push from his offensive line. Looks more like a rugby scrum. And Wes Yoder gets up to the 37-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play.
Miller Senior Living Community in Wakarusa is a proud supporter of Northwood High School athletics. Miller's in Wakarusa is happy to share that Terry Medford, registered nurse, was selected as the Nurse of the Year by the Indiana Healthcare Association. Miller's provides short-term rehab, assisted living, and long-term care to our seniors. Go Panthers.
3rd and 7. Rader trying to draw the Minutemen offside. Now he might be changing the play. Play clock at 5. Play action behind Natarian Tuggle. He had him open. And after that great start, Owen Rader has 3 straight incompletions.
Yeah, good play call by the offense. Just had him open, just needs to lead him a little bit more on that.
So 4th down, kind of in no man's land, a little too far for DeFreitas, but you really don't want to punt it from here. So Northwood has confidence in its defense, which is reasonable considering how they've performed so far tonight. They'll go for it on 4th and 7. Rader under heavy pressure, finds Wes Yoder on the screen. He's got the 1st down, but a flag comes in, and we'll see what this is all about.
Concord brought the pressure, brought the blitz. Great screen call by the Northwood Panthers.
But another illegal block.
Yep.
Illegal block against the Panthers.
So Northwood called for its 3rd penalty of the night. And you get another look, and we'll see if we can pick up this block in the back by the Panthers. As Yoder is coming down the field. And it's probably the shove and the reason why Darian Decker went flying unnaturally right there.
Yep. It actually replay 4th down, but with the spot foul penalty, actually picked up a yard. So instead of 4th and 7, it'll be 4th and 6.
So here's Caden Lone. Will he throw it again? Yes, he will. J.J. Payne is out there. Touchdown, Northwood.
Flag.
But another flag against the Panthers. This one for holding. We'll bring it on back. A lot of great highlights getting negated tonight. So a holding call will turn this from 4th and 6 into 4th and 16. Dennis Groening explaining to Nate Andrews what that call was all about. And now let's see if Northwood will continue to go for it or send the punt unit onto the field. And I think this will be the punt unit. As they march the penalty back.
I think the biggest thing with that last play is second time they've run the halfback pass, if you want to call it that, with Cade Lone, you know, the quarterback that was supposed to be starting tonight. But you have just so many of those trick plays in your book, and you don't want to waste them all the time, especially when you have penalties.
So they'll spot it down at the 45-yard line, 4th and 6. And Northwood will have to punt as the clock will not run until the snap. Nobody, well, now somebody backpedaling deep for Concord. That's Ben Creek. Boy, Lone with a shank, but Creek's going to let it roll, and it goes down inside the 12-yard line. And Craig Kaler absolutely irate on the Concord sidelines. Felt there should have been some sort of flag on that play. So some raw emotion coming out of the Concord coach over on the other side as the first quarter comes to an end. Both these teams came out fired up, but only one came out ready to score. Nitro Tuggle with a touchdown pass from Owen Rader, and then Caden Lone will send one up for J.J. Payne. 17-0 Panthers after 1 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the St. Joseph County Police Department. Join the team and help protect and serve our community. Normally at the end of a quarter, we send it down for a Bills Heating sideline report. But Bo Hunt is upstairs tonight. And I would probably ask you something like a mundane question like, how can Concord turn this game around? But it bears asking right now because the Minutemen find themselves down 17 and nothing has really worked.
I think they really need to make some adjustments on offense. They need to make sure that they get the blocks up front, I think is the biggest thing as well. Making sure they're giving the quarterback a little bit more time. Things just quite aren't falling their way right now. I don't think they're really having bad play calls or because they're dropping some passes, they're underthrown a little bit. But I think the biggest thing is that offensive line needs to put a little bit more pressure up front to make sure they give them a little bit more time.
Hand off to Titus Hackworth, and Hackworth trying to pinball off tacklers, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Kanye King is having himself a game at defensive end. Northwood talks about how small they are, and most of them are, but big old number 87 for Northwood stands in there at 6'5", 219 pounds. That's not small.
No, and he's definitely have the size, and he's hit the weight room as well.
Hudson glance, and there he is again. Kingme. Second quarter being brought to us by Miller's Senior Living Community in Wakarusa, and if Hudson Glance doesn't get much better blocking than this, he'll never make it to there.
No, that was just a fake up the middle, supposed to take the D in and bring him in. He didn't bite on the fake and just came straight in for the sack.
Third sack of the night for the Panthers. Lance fires, Kultukian with the grab, but he can't escape that cadre of tacklers. Pickup of about 2 on the play. Ethan Evers helping up Armin Kultukian. There's a pair of big bodies to collide out there.
Two great athletes going at it.
So it's 3 and out again for the Minutemen. And now Miguel Aguiar has to punt from his own end zone. The dangerous J.J. Payne is standing in Concord territory to take this kick. There you see Aguiar, the locks flowing from underneath that helmet. He hits a hanger out there that Payne will take at the 43. JJ can't elude the tacklers. Good coverage by the Concord special teams that time as Devon Smith comes out to make the stop. But again, terrific field position for Northwood. They played almost this entire game in Concord territory.
Finally, an IT company that not only provides stellar technical support, but also partners with clients and help them use technology to move forward. Learn more at 574it.com. That's 574IT.
First and 10 from the 42 for a Northwood team already leading 17-0. Owen Rader, the surprise starter tonight. When Nate Andrews did his coach's interview with me, I asked him, was the starting lineup the same as you gave me earlier in the week, he goes, there's one change, and it's at quarterback.
Yeah, and we talked about we would not say anything until we got up here, but he was very confident in that decision and said, no, that's no problem. They're going to find out in about 30 minutes anyways.
Here's Rader. He's going to air it out for Nitro. Tuggle trying to make the one-hand grab, but he was being held the whole time. And that'll be called against Concord.
There's one in the backfield as well.
Could be offsetting. I did joke with this officiating crew before the game tonight. You guys know you're not paid by the call.
Yeah.
But it has been flag football here tonight.
It has, and only 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter still, and about an hour into the game already.
So holding against both teams, offsetting penalties, and we'll do it all over again.
Goshen Home Medical is a proud supporter of Concord Northwood Athletics. Choose Goshen Home Medical for all of your home medical and respiratory equipment needs. Visit their location on South Main.
So again, it's 1st and 10. Wes Yoder, the running back, just to the left of Owen Rader. Twins to each side of Rader. And Rader throws out to Seth Russell, and Russell makes the grab going along the Concord sideline and manages to work his way up to, it looks like, the 34-yard line for a pickup of 8 on the play. Russell has not been used a lot this year. That's his 3rd catch of the season, 6'3" junior, who splits time at that position with Parker Philly. Second and 3. Rader again looks to throw. Has J.J. Payne juggling the ball, and he couldn't hang on to it. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Nice little out route, quick out the route by Payne there. Just wasn't able to hold on to the ball. 2 hands go up for it all the time.
Jacob Schmidt did a good job of helping get over there and frustrate Payne on the grab.
Yep.
So it's 3rd and 3. Northwood has not been great on 3rd down conversions this year. Less than 25% coming into this one. 5 for 21 on the season. But they have been a big play team this year, and they have shown that here tonight. They now have 13 plays of over 20 yards this season. And that's just on offense. That doesn't include special teams. Rader throws, and Keegan Stats was not there. And there is a flag down and another holding call against the Northwood offense.
Do you move them back 10 yards, give them another chance at 3rd? Because you know in this territory they're going to go for a 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I would go ahead and take the penalty, because 4th and 3 is a very makeable down for them. 3rd and 13. Not saying they can't make it, but it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So for Northwood, that is their 5th penalty of the night. That doesn't even include the offsetting penalties a moment ago. And they've had 45 yards in penalties. So both teams flagged 5 times, and we haven't even played 15 minutes of football.
Might be more penalty yards than Concord has in total yards.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. Minutemen with only 9 total yards on offense tonight. Yoder in motion. It is a pass, and it's Yoder being tackled by Armin Koltukian, who shows great speed in pursuit that time to bring him down after a pickup of 5. Koltukian's the middle linebacker, and he made the tackle on the Northwood sideline.
Who doesn't love a good burger on the grill, a melt-in-your-mouth steak? Well, you can have it all from farm fresh beef from Maple Crest Farm to Table. From our farm, your table. Find us on social media. That's Maple Crest Farm to Table.
4th and 8. Raiders still in there. Lone is not, so you know they're not punting. And why would you, the way this Northwood defense has played so far? Rader, pump fake. Wants J.J. Payne. He's behind his man, and he makes the grab. Oh, the ball poked loose. It's still loose, and it looks like Concord has it. It's a completion, a fumble by Payne, and the Concord defensive backs have been a pain to J.J. Payne tonight. It's Joseph Moon on the recovery.
That's twice J.J. Payne's gone up and had the ball and has had it taken away from him.
Jacob Schmidt with the punch right there to free it, and Joe Moon makes the recovery.
That's a great job of wrapping up and holding them, which is legal on that play. You can hold and not let them get that ball.
So a 28-yard completion goes for naught. And here's Hudson Glantz and Concord. Again, not great field position, back at their own 12. Bad snap, ball still loose, and this time Glantz falls on it back at the 5.
KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ, a top RV manufacturer, is built on the foundation of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career.
Right now, the Concord total offense for the night is the distance between me and Austin Huff in the press box. It's 2 yards. Here's the handoff. Titus Hackworth, he's got room to run. Hackworth runs over J.J. Payne and gets the first down, sponsored by KZRV. A pickup of 18 on the play, the biggest play of the night for the Minutemen.
Minutemen finally getting a little bit of momentum going forward. Big play there, good cutback, big pickup.
1st and 10. Hackworth again gets a little bit of a hole. Now here come the black jerseys, and C.J. Kuhn will finish it off up at the 27-yard line. A pickup of 4 that time for Hackworth, who was Concord's leading rusher coming into this one with 128 yards for the season. Titus Hackworth, you can look at him. He's a strong young man. He squats 435.
Yeah, and he's got powerful legs. You can see the way he drives through that line, carrying tacklers with those legs.
Now, strength and conditioning programs have come a long way. Do you remember what you squatted in high school?
It's like 9,400 pounds. I don't know. No, it wasn't as big back then in the strength and training program. You had a program, but it was one of those things not like it is today. I mean, today, it's year-round. Whether you're training in season, out of season, other sports, you're still doing the training and keeping track of what weights you're lifting throughout the whole year now. When we went to another sport, we stopped lifting for football and went straight to basketball lifting. It wasn't a year-round thing.
3rd and 7. Here's Glantz, gets rid of it, throws a dime out there, and a beautiful defensive play to break it up by Caden Lone.
Great job of really keeping his body under control, getting his hand in, knocking that ball away.
So Miguel Aguiar come on to kick it again. How much does being a quarterback help a defensive back?
A lot of times you just see that. A lot of times in smaller schools, the quarterback's going to be one of the defensive backs or safeties in the backfield. Not sure how much it helps, but a lot of times the quarterback is one of the more athletic kids on the field, so you're going to be able to defend a receiver a little bit better.
Now we've got a call against Northwood, and that's the signal for
taunting. Unsportsmanlike taunting call?
Yeah. So a taunting call against Northwood will cost them 15 yards and give Concord a first down, sponsored by KZRV. The 6th flag on Northwood of the night. And Nate Andrews wants to know exactly who it was, because this might be their last play. 1st and 10 at the 42. Hackworth off the right side, slices for about a yard. C.J. Kuhn sticks his head in there again and makes the tackle along with help from Brady King. Kuhn, 5'11", 161-pound senior, and really what you would call a program kid at this level for Northwood.
St. Andrews Products supplies our crew with the finest and monogrammed apparel, and they can help your team look great too. Promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and much more. Reach us at sales@standrewscorp.com.
Here off a blitz, and they read it well. Koltukian makes the grab, and Armin Koltukian finally hauled down by J.J. Payne up at the 39-yard line. But that's good for 17 yards and a first down, and Koltukian continues to be a very good find by the Concord coaches, moving him over to offense. He didn't play one play on offense last season for Concord. He is now the leading receiver for this Minuteman squad with 10 catches on the year.
Well, you can see how athletic he is, being the linebacker, one of their studs in the middle, and you can just definitely move him over and see how much he's going to help.
You'll meet him at halftime, one of our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week. Now here's Hackworth. He had to use every bit of his strength to go forward for 2 yards there. 10 carries, 28 yards so far for Titus Hackworth. And there's that man again, Kanye King, getting up from the bottom of the pile.
2nd and 9 for Concord.
So 2nd and 9 for Concord. Again, it's Hackworth, battering ram up to the 35-yard line. We've got a moment to ask our TCU trivia question tonight. What is the only year that these two schools met in the football tournament? They were both in 4A at one time, and we'll answer the question in a little bit. Third and 6. Craig Kaler letting that clock drain down a little bit as he gets the play call in. Glance, hands it off to Hackworth, and he is met in the backfield. Ben Fatarusso finished him off, but it was Brady King who disrupted things from his nose guard position. The 5'9" sophomore wrestler would get credit for the 2-point takedown right here.
Well, you can see a great job there on the more custom drain cleaning replay. Just a great job of getting in there, showing the pressure, knocking them back, and bringing up a big 4th down here.
Craig Kaler talking to his offensive coordinator, Lalo Rolón, and I think he's going to work the clock down here and take a timeout when it gets down to 1.
Trying to think the last time Concord was 4A, but I know it's been quite a while.
Well, you can ponder that a little bit more as we'll take the timeout with 3:49 to go first half. Northwood up 17-0 on Concord on the 46 game of the week. This edition of the 46 game of the week being brought to you in part by Martin Supermarkets. Count on us for all your grocery needs and so much more. So I know you're all hanging out for the answer here to the TCU trivia question. The only year these two schools met in the football tournament, not that long ago, 2011. And Northwood got the better of Concord that night.
11 years ago, before my first gray hair.
Concord had won in the regular season, and Northwood got them back. In the tournament.
That usually happens. So you play a team in the regular season, and then you get them in the playoffs, and a lot of times it's hard to beat a team twice.
So a 4th and 9 here from the 39-yard line with 3:49 to go. Concord desperately trying to get something good to happen here.
They're finally
in the first half.
Northwood territory, field possession-wise.
Glance. Here's the whistle setting the ball for play. Checks the wristband. Plenty of time on the play clock.
You know Northwood's going to bring the pressure.
You can see them lining up at the gates. Now they back out of it. And here comes King. Glance finds a receiver. That's Juan Ross. Ross gets whopped at the 35-yard line, very short of the first down. Northwood takes over on downs.
Decent play call with the wide receiver screen there. Just Northwood did not bring the pressure that was expected.
They still got enough pressure coming up the middle with Kanye King. And then Ethan Evers had him around the ankles, and that made him free bait for Max Perziak.
Imaginary Finishing Technologies is the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. We specialized in process components for major industries, including aerospace, medical, and military and defense. IFT is excited about our 60-year history and looking forward to the challenges ahead. At Imaginary Finishing Technologies, quality is a way of life.
3:41 to go, first half. Northwood trying to join Warsaw as an opening night winner in the NLC. Owen Rader with that pump fake. This time he's going to have to run, and did a very good job. He had an arm around him once he hit the line of scrimmage and still picked up 6 yards. So Raiders sets Northwood up with a 2nd and 4. Panthers have all their timeouts remaining, and you see the clock in the corner of the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. Rader rolls, has time, finds his man on the outside. That's Keegan Stats for a first down, and Stats takes it all the way up into Concord territory at the 47-yard line.
Northwood with plenty of time, especially with how explosive their offense is. Remember, they had 17 points, I believe, with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter still. So Concord's defense has really stepped up since that point.
Pickup of 11 on the play for Keegan Stats. 1st and 10 from the Minuteman 48. Wes Yoder in motion. Rader looked that way, comes back to J.J. Payne. Payne trying to put moves on, and another flag comes in on the play. And you have to have the feeling this is going to go against Northwood.
Pretty sure at halftime we're going to have to do a load of laundry. Make sure we have a little bit cleaner second half.
Tommy Tykes shows us another block in the back against the Panthers, and that'll cost him 10 more yards.
7th penalty on Northwood tonight.
And 70 yards in penalties. So when Nate Anders says we're still a work in progress, you kind of get the feeling of what he means.
Yeah. And a lot of those blocks in the back, those are, you can help not doing those. You just don't block when they're there in front of you.
Now Owen Rader under pressure throws a screen pass out. This is Caden Lone, and he's tripped up on a nice play by Armin Koltukian at the 45-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. That is the 6th different receiver for Northwood tonight. And 146 passing yards for Rader to go with 26 from Lone. Second time Lone has caught a pass this year. 2nd and 17. Rader steps up. He wants Nitro Tuggle. He's open. Cue the fight song. Touchdown, Northwood. 55 yards. No flags.
Now that was a great job of getting there and actually leading Tuggle and letting him run under it. You can see here on the more custom drain cleaning replay, just a great job getting there. Tuggle ran under, almost dropped it.
Beautiful camera work by Chris Skibby down there on the field. The touchdown sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. Caden Lone on is the holder for Dominic DeFreitas. The snap is good. The set down and the kick follow suit. And 1:44 remains before halftime. Northwood up in this one 24-0 behind the combination of Rader to Tuggle, who have connected twice tonight. Tuggle on the night, 3 catches, 130 yards. He's only a junior, and the offers will start coming in pretty soon.
Yeah, you can see the separation there as well. Good job by Rader to throw the ball on the outside corner of his shoulder, and he did a good job when he gets that separation right at the end to really kind of fade to that outside, and you get even bigger separation at that point.
And how about Owen Rader tonight? His first start of the season, but not his first rodeo. He had 4 starts last year. He's 9 out of 14, 1 interception, 2 tutties, 201 yards, and we're not even at halftime.
Nice performance out of the junior quarterback.
Remember, this is a Concord defense coming in that it was coming off a shutout, only giving up 16.5 points a game, and they have been torched here in the first half by this Northwood passing attack. it's funny, there's so many different ways of getting the job done. We see teams like Warsaw and Mishawaka who would just as soon wound themselves as throw the football.
Yep.
And then we come here tonight, and Northwood has not been impressive running the football tonight. They only have 12 rushing yards on 9 carries. But, man, they can sling it.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you use the weapons that you have. And when you got Raider and Lone who can both throw the ball, and you got your receivers like Tuggle and Payne, and then you can put Lone out there as well. I mean, they're not even using Evan Ethers at running back. I mean, it's one of their better guys, one of their athletes that they could even put at running back, and he could be a great running back for them, but they don't have to.
No.
They just concentrate on defense and just, roam the middle of that defense and tear up offenses,
And he's done that tonight with a lot of help from Kanye King. Another kick that goes to the goal line. They're going to let it be returned, and Deshaun Emerson finally goes down around the 16-yard line. So, again, poor field position for the Minutemen and everything going Northwood's way here in this first half. But for those of you who watched our Michigan game Friday afternoon on TV 46, you saw a team get out to a 20-0 lead and then have to hang on for dear life at the end. So don't necessarily switch the dial here in the second half.
And that had a lot to do with the adjustments made at halftime with that game yesterday. And both these coaches are going to make some adjustments. Concord, they're going to have to make some major adjustments on offense.
Hudson Glantz at quarterback tonight. 6 out of 10 for 41 yards. He'll air it out here. Armin Koltukian makes another nice grab, steps out of bounds to stop the clock after a pickup of 4 on the play, maybe 5. Koltukian showing very good hands as the H-back in this Concord offense. He has 26 yards tonight on 4 catches. The amazing thing about him is the conditioning. He's 6'1", 205. He's sculpted like an Adonis, and he doesn't come off the field.
No, he just stays on it and plays both ways as much as he can.
Here's Glantz with a nice throw and catch, and a big hit by C.J. Kuhn, but not before a first down for Concord, sponsored by KZRV, courtesy of Connor Morris.
Good job of moving the chains by Concord. The clock stops in high school football on the first down. Get set up here. They have plenty of time to move that ball down the field. Still have 1 timeout remaining.
Glantz has shown a pretty nice arm when he has protection. It hasn't always been there tonight. Here he has time. He airs it out a little too far for Deshaun Emerson, and it's incomplete. Glantz taking over the role of quarterback after Hunter Dutton filled it very well the last couple of years for Concord. Put up some big numbers. And in fairness to Glantz, the weapons that Dutton had around him, I would say, are better than the weapons that Glantz currently has around.
Oh, for sure. I have to totally agree with that.
So Concord looking at a 2nd and 10 with 1:14 left first half. Still a long way from scoring position. Glantz fires out towards the sideline. Great grab out there by Michael Campanello. His 2nd of the season is good for a first down, sponsored by KZRV.
Northwood running a zone defense there. Lance was able to put it in between the 2 defenders. You can see it here on the more custom drain cleaning replay. Right over the hand, right in front of Payne.
3rd grab of the night actually for Campanello. They'll go for Emerson here, but that one falls incomplete with 1:05 to go before halftime. And here's one thing I know about Hudson Glantz. He's a gutsy kid, and it has nothing to do with taking the sacks tonight. He's a pole vaulter. Anybody who is willing to stick themselves at the end of a pole to catapult themselves over a bar has guts.
I totally agree with you, and I've been asked many a times in my youth to do the pole vault, and I did nothing, wanted nothing to do with it.
2nd and 10. Here's Glantz throwing. He's looking for Juan Ross, who makes the grab at the 20, and he's on his way. Touchdown, Concord. A 45-yard strike from Glantz to Ross, and the Minutemen are on the board.
Great job of going up and getting that ball. The defenders both kind of collided with each other. You can see it here on the replay. Just went by him and like, oh, wait, he's got the ball. Could not get back into the position to make the tackle.
Typically, you don't want your quarterback to throw into double coverage, but if that's going to be the result, just fine with Craig Kaler. Miguel Aguiar on to try the extra point out of the hold of Connor Morris. And remember, Concord will get the second half kickoff. But there's a long way to go before then, with 57 seconds before halftime, as the extra point is missed by Aguiar. First miss of the season for him, and it's 24-6 in favor of Northwood. There you see Craig Kaler on the sidelines, his 8th year at the helm of the Minutemen. He used to be the baseball head coach, which might be why you and he get along so well.
So well. Those baseball coaches get along so well with each other.
His wife, Cindy, terrific CrossFit athlete. And they have 2 boys, Caleb and Micah, who have just started playing football. Caleb, the oldest one, plays on that Concord junior high team, middle school team. And Craig left practice a little bit early the other day so he could go see his son play. And he says, that's a pretty good 7th grade football team. There might be some help coming for the Minutemen soon.
Help coming up the way, exactly what they need. I know Northwood's youth program, Nate Andrews is very involved with that. A lot of kids coming through the program. Looked like Aguilar was limping a little bit after that extra point kick, and I saw him coming out on the field limping a little bit coming out here. Not sure if he tweaked something or not.
He looks like he's still in a little bit of pain, grimacing there. But he'll give it a go here, as the Minutemen dent the scoreboard here in the final minute before halftime. And now we'll see the dangerous Natarian Tuggle back deep at about his 5-yard line. And we'll see if Aguiar has enough in him to put this one into the end zone, as he did with the opening kickoff tonight. He's on the approach. Spinning kick. Tuggle takes it at the 1. Tuggle trying to get to the outside. And he is finally brought down at the 20-yard line. Good special teams coverage that time by Darian Decker of the Minutemen. So 49 seconds, all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time for this Northwood offense.
Yeah, plenty of time for Northwood in this offense. You know they're going to go up top a couple times. Do they run a couple routes across the middle? And usually in this situation, the middle's usually open. They're usually guarding against the sidelines and stuff deep. Or do you just go ahead and try to go deep right away?
With the success they've had with Tuggle and Payne getting behind defenders, I got to think that they might take their deep shots right away. Tuggle is in the game, and he is lined up at what will be the bottom of your screen. Payne up top. They're looking for Tuggle, but instead they throw it to the sideline. A little out route that time. And that's Parker Philly with his first grab of the night. He's the 7th receiver for Northwood to catch one tonight, and that's a pickup of 5. Philly, a workout fiend. He'll happily show you the reels on Instagram.
Instagram, social media, big thing nowadays with athletes across the board.
2nd and 5. Raider again looking to his right, but this time slammed down by the Concord defense. Stevan Smith came in and gets the sack for a loss of 7.
Looks like Nate's not even going to call a timeout, just going to let the clock run. Might just let this go to halftime.
Might not be the worst call here. You're up 24-6. 3rd and 11. They do not have to run another play here, as there's a difference between the play clock and the game clock. But Nate might call a timeout here. We'll see. Nope. He's just going to call it a half And the Northwood Panthers will take a big 18-point lead to the locker room, up 24-6. Now stick around. Our St. Joe County Police Department halftime report is up next with our Tony Letcher Student Athletes of the Week. Natarian Tuggle putting on a show for the Panthers with 2 touchdowns tonight. Time now to meet our Student Athletes of the Week here at halftime, and it's brought to us by our friends at Tony Letcher Health Markets, 2 outstanding representatives of these Northern Lakes Conference institutions. We have Armin Koltukian from Concord, Riley Kitson from Northwood. We always start with the visitors, my twin Armin. We look almost exactly alike. And Armin is a 3-sport athlete at Concord, football, wrestling state finalist, and he's also a terrific runner on the track team. And yet you also have a 4.0 GPA. That's impressive if you're doing nothing to do all those things. How do you manage your time?
I'm held accountable by my coaches and my parents, and they just help keep me focused in the classroom.
As you take a look at what you've been able to do, I see a lot of little kids wearing number 9 jerseys with your name on it. How does that make you feel, and what is it like to be a role model?
It's a proud feeling to know that I have kids looking up to me, but it also motivates me and helps push me to work my hardest so I can stay a motivation in their life.
Well, that's not your sole motivation, I'm sure. You're a demon in the weight room. You've got an older brother that's accomplished some things. I'm sure he's pushed you, but what is your complete motivation? What keeps you going?
My teammates are great at keeping me motivated and level-headed, and it's awesome to work alongside those guys in the weight room.
When you graduate from Concord, you'll have a lot of letters, you'll have jackets, and that won't mean a thing at the next level. What do you expect to do, not only in terms of athletics, but in terms of academics when you go to college?
I'm hoping to take football to the next level and get a degree in either business or strength and conditioning.
Well, I think you'd be good at both of those. So congratulations on all your accomplishments. That's Armin Koltukian from Concord High School. Over here we have Riley Kitson. She is the only 3-time state finalist in the history of Northwood High School, twice in golf, once in girls basketball. That's a heck of an accomplishment all by itself. And then to be getting the job done in the classroom, how do you budget your time?
Personally, it's definitely a hardship between golf practice, basketball practice, and unified track practice. Definitely my teachers push me a lot, as well as my coaches and parents. Keeping those grades up is definitely something I have to do.
Now, another thing that you should know about Riley is she has a lot of accomplishments in 4-H on the dairy side. And so you got to get up early and feed the cows and do all those things around all those activities. How do you squeeze 4-H in, and what makes you want to excel at that?
It's definitely a time management. Late nights, early mornings, sleep is definitely does not come very easily. A lot of people don't understand the amount of time and effort, but it's walking pigs, walking steers, 45 minutes a day, working them up to that. It's time management the whole way.
So what motivates you? Who are the people in your life that have instilled the values of hard work and excellence for you?
My parents and my brother Keaton, they definitely pushed me to be the best I can be. Keaton and I kind of went back and forth at each other for 4-H, and it's kind of the same way in golf. Sophie and I go back and forth trying to beat each other. It's just competition. I like to win.
You like to compete. That's a beautiful thing, because you're going to need to do that at college. You're hoping to go to Purdue because you want to be a veterinarian. I can understand that from the farm side, but what makes you want to make a career out of that?
I just love animals and helping animals in any way that I can. And personally, every time an animal on my farm gets sick, I like to try and treat it myself first before we call the vet out.
And how successful are you?
Sometimes I'm very successful. Other times it does take a vet call.
Okay, well, that's all right. You'll learn, and then it won't take anything. That's Riley Kitson from Northwood High School, Armin Koltukian from Concord. They are our Tony Letcher Health Market Student Athletes of the Week, and we appreciate their contribution. Now, stick around, everybody. We've got halftime stats and highlights coming up on the St. Joe County Police Department Halftime Show. That's next on the 46 Game of the Week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. Welcome everybody inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth as our St. Joe County Health Department or St. Joe County Police Department pregame show continues. We got a health league, we got the police, we got it all covered. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt with you here. Above the fray, a 24-6 lead for Northwood. First half where they dominated all but maybe the last 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, Northwood really had everything going offensively. They were able to really put some yardage up. The only thing that really concerned me was the penalties from both teams.
It was a very sloppy first half of play. Let's show you how it got to be this way. As Northwood drew first blood in the first minute of the first half. Owen Rader up top to Natarian Tuggle. 42-yard touchdown, scored 7-0. Terrific defensive play by Juan Ross here as he strips it from J.J. Payne and gets the interception. But there weren't enough of those plays for Concord. In fact, they would give it right back on a fumble here recovered by Keith Miller. That put Northwood in business. Caden Lone on the halfback pass found J.J. Payne in the end zone for the score. 17-0 after one. Kanye King had a monster first half on defense. But Jacob Schmidt with another fine play to strip Payne of the ball. Joe Moon recovers the football. And then Concord couldn't really get much on track with the running game. And then Owen Rader up top to Natarian Tuggle again. A 55-yard strike to Pater, 24-0. Hudson Glantz would answer as he would find Juan Ross 45 yards for the score. 24-6 at the intermission, but the numbers belie the story of the Black Punch dominance.
Yeah, when you look at that in Concord, Northwood had 2 turnovers on that, and that was the biggest thing is Concord wasn't able to really recover or turn those turnovers into possessions and points, and I think that's one of the biggest things when you look at those stats. But total yards, of course, Northwood with the 238 yards. Very dominant first half for Northwood Panthers.
Owen Rader making an impressive first start of the season for Northwood as the quarterback, as he has led that passing game with over 200 yards himself. 24-6 Northwood at the intermission. This does it for our St. Joe County Police Department halftime show. There's second half play-by-play from Andrews Field coming up after this on 46. And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to us by TCU. Discover better banking at TCU. Normally we would toss it downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report, but Bo Hunt in the booth with me, so we talked adjustments quite a bit in the first half. What kind of adjustments do you expect Craig Kaler and his team to make here in the second half?
I think the biggest thing is they need to get more pressure on Rader in the backfield, making sure they're not giving him time. And then the other thing is possibly jamming the wide receivers up front, not letting them get downfield so you're able to get that pressure in the backfield. Offensively, they need to make some adjustments all across the board. And I think it starts with that offensive line, making sure they follow the blocks and they're able to sustain those blocks for a little bit longer and get a charge, because they definitely have a size advantage, but they need to use that size advantage in their favor.
Well, Craig told you they're open to suggestions. He said that to us before the game. And I think they'll try all kinds of different things. So we'll see what they come out with here to begin the second half. You watched our game from Michigan Friday afternoon. Buchanan completely revamped its offense in the second half and nearly pulled off a stunning comeback against Niles. We'll see if Concord can follow suit as Dominic DeFreitas puts the ball on the tee. And you will have back deep the combination of Deshaun Emerson and Juan Ross. Ross the closest to you there. DeFreitas awaits the signal from the officials. Tommy Tyke says, let's play football, and indeed we will. The third quarter brought to us by Miller's Senior Living Community in Wakarusa. It's Emerson from the 5. Deshaun with some room and finally escorted out of bounds. It was Landon Zimmerman on the stop for Northwood. They'll spot it at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for Concord. Not a bad first half for Hudson Glantz. He was 10 out of 16 for 125 yards, no interceptions. Had the one fumble. Concord down by 18, but they had a strong second half offensively last week against Jimtown. We'll see if they can follow suit here. Titus Hackworth bounces away from a couple of tacklers, and Hackworth weaves his way up to about the 35-yard line. Nice pickup of 5 for Hackworth, who now has 13 carries for 33 yards tonight.
Titus really having to fight for every inch that he's picked up tonight. Just done a great job of getting positive yards on that play there.
2nd and 5. Glantz to throw. Wants to load up for Juan Ross, and it's broken up beautifully by Trey Woods, who almost had the interception. Ball was underthrown a little bit, and that's what cost him on the play.
Yeah, it was a great job of really getting in between the ball and the receiver, though. A little bit of height advantage, but able to get inside, you can see there, from the ball and the receiver. Great job.
Woods, a nice defensive back, and I think he's relishing this one-on-one opportunity to go with Ross on the outside. Doesn't mean he's going to win every one of them. Cornerbacks have to have short memories, whether it's college or any other level. Glantz on a little bootleg pass to Armin Goltukian. That is well designed. That is a first down, sponsored by KZRV, as it takes 6 Panthers to bring Goltukian down at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 11. That's his 5th grab of the night.
Great play action coming away from the defense, really using that pursuit against them. And good job of getting it to Goltukian and picking up the big first down, moving those chains.
Big fan of that bootleg play. We saw Buchanan run it quite a bit. Here's Glantz again, heaving it down the field. The receiver stopped, and Woods didn't get the interception because finally the receiver, Michael Campanello, got back into position to break it up.
Yeah, he turned into a defender real quick on that play. Looked like he was running a different route, kind of a stop route rather than a go route.
And you see Woods just couldn't come up with it, but Campanello was there to help break it up. 2nd and 10. And Woods comes up limping a little bit on the play back at the 26-yard line. So the trainers have come out to help him off the field. But after all the cramping we saw up in Michigan in our Thursday night game, so far that has not been as much of an issue in this game, albeit it is a little bit cooler tonight.
Yeah. And it started the second half. We saw a lot of it happen more in the second half, getting towards the 4th quarter.
2nd and 10. Glantz runs out of time, and down he goes. Keith Miller got him around the ankles to put him away, and it'll be a loss of 4 on the play.
When Panther fans are hungry, they go to Cook's Pizza. Whether you're hungry for pizza, chicken strips, breadsticks, breaded mushrooms, or ice cream, Cook's Pizza can feed your family or your whole team. You can also find the same great food at Jimtown Pizza in Jimtown. A big thank you goes out to Cook's Pizza for feeding the production crew prior to this game.
3rd and 15. Long count for Glantz. He pumps. He throws to the outside. He's got his man. First down. Sponsored by KZRV. That's Connor Morse.
Finding Morse in stride there. Great job by Glantz. Hitting the receiver in stride and ability to pick up 22 yards.
Well, that is a big-time pickup on the play. Now they're going to wind up spotting it back at the 35. But still a very nice pickup. And Glantz now at 160 yards passing for the night. And he's going to air it out again. He wants to go to Campanello, but it is intercepted.
Tuggle.
Natarian Tuggle, not only an offensive weapon, but a defensive weapon as well.
Yep, that last first down by Concord, sponsored by KZRV. Trying to go for the 2nd one in a row, but Tuggle not going to drop that pass. A receiver, back and cornerback, and when you were able to just sit there and sit underneath it, great job of going up with both hands and bringing it down.
Nitro having a night. He may want to work on the interview skills, I get the feeling. 2 touchdowns and an interception for
definitely
the Northwood
vying
Speedster.
for player of the game tonight. Still early, still 24-6. Plenty of time for Concord.
He's a 3-sport athlete with a 3.3 GPA, runs a 4.5 40. Also plays on the basketball team and not surprisingly runs track.
Three-sport, 3.3, the number 3. Maybe he'll have 3 touchdowns tonight.
Owen Rader likes the way you're thinking, but he doesn't like the lack of blocking that time as he gets wiped out by Devon Smith. Second sack of the night for Smith, and Rader is smashed back at the 3-yard line. They'll spot it at the 5. That's a loss of 8. And Northwood now in negative yardage rushing for the night.
Yeah, that play right there looked like Tuggle was open. Just he had to lead him a little bit, and he wasn't ready to throw that ball. He should have unleashed it just a little bit sooner because he let the pressure get to him. Now he's going to have to get rid of it quick if they're going to pass.
They might keep it on the ground here with Wes Yoder. No, they're going to throw it, and it's almost intercepted. Concord saw what the Rock was cooking, and Ben Creek comes over and gets both hands on it.
Yeah, they sniffed that play out right away. They actually had 2 guys in that passing lane, both vying for that ball.
Creek might have had it not been knocked away by his own man, Jamie Lewis. 3rd down and 18 for Northwood. Concord defense trying to pin him back here. Concord coming with pressure. They got Rader as the safety. The line judge coming in, the referee there as well. No signal yet. They say Rader was just out of the end zone. It'll be 4th down from just outside the Northwood goal line.
Wow, Northwood lucked out on that because it looked like he was about a yard deep in that end zone. The ball must have been over the line, but they're going to be pushed back here.
Quite frankly, the line judge and the side judge didn't have enough time to get back there with as quickly as the play was disrupted. So Caden Lone gonna punt from the back of his own end zone. And he just does get it off, but it's kind of off the side of his foot, and a fair catch called for at the 37-yard line by Connor Morris. So excellent field position now for Concord. And you get a replay of the sack by the Minutemen, and you try to make the call at home. Was Owen Rader outside the end zone when he got sacked? It appears he was.
Yep, he came back across. That first second he was in the end zone, but then he actually tucked it and came across the line when he got tackled.
Good field awareness there by Rader. So you see Nate Andrews wearing that Stop the Stigma t-shirt. It is Mental Health Awareness Night here at Northwood High School. And all the coaches wearing that kind of shirt. Hudson Glantz looking to throw. Has time, throws it out there, but again, nobody's there. There seems to be a lot of miscommunication right now between Glantz and his receivers.
A little bit of a timing route right there. He was trying to time it up a little bit and throw it to, they have a certain thing a lot of times where they throw it to an area, and you can see the running back run to that area, and he just got bumped off of his route just a little bit, enough to disrupt that play.
Glantz 12 of 21 throwing tonight with an interception and a touchdown. He's looking at a 2nd and 10 here. Only 3 on the line for Northwood, but they bring a blitzer and they pitched it right around Ethan Evers, and Titus Hackworth is able to pick up about 6 yards. That was pretty good awareness by Glantz, because if Evers gets his hands on that ball, he's got a full head of steam going the other way.
Yeah, he was coming on that blitz, and he had to get rid of it right away, or he was going to pick that off in midair.
And this has been a Northwood team terrific at creating turnovers this year. There you saw Glantz running right by Evers. 3rd down and 6. They'll pitch it again to Hackworth on the sweep, and Hackworth shows some elusiveness. Couldn't get the 1st down, then a flag comes in behind the play, and immediately the official signals to the Concord sideline. It's against the Minutemen.
Miller's Senior Living Community in Wakarusa is a proud supporter of Northwood High School football team. Miller's provides short-term rehab, assisted living, and long-term care to our seniors, serving Elkhart County and the surrounding communities. Find out more at millersmarymanor.com, and go Panthers.
So a 10-yard penalty called against Concord will move them back to the Northwood 43. That sets up a 3rd and 16. Greg Kaler chatting with his special teams coach Dennis Teagarden over on the far side. Concord with trips to the left of Glantz. He's looking to the left, and down he goes. Oh, did he get thrown down by Brady King? King, the sophomore defensive tackle, came right up the gut, and Glantz had no chance. Loss of 9 on the play.
Go from a first down at the 37-yard line in Northwood territory to being pushed back. Just great field position they had, but penalties and a couple sacks, that's what's going to happen.
5 sacks tonight for Northwood. Miguel Aguiar on the punt. J.J. Payne waits for it back at his 15. Good snap. Line drive kick. Payne runs up on it at the 25 and then gets thrown down right there by Devon Smith.
Don't let a clog ruin your pipes. Call Moore Custom Drain Cleaning. It only takes one clog to cause disaster. If you need a drain cleaning service, turn to the experts at Moore Custom Draining Cleaning. They offer professional drain cleaning services throughout Elkhart County. That's Moore, M-O-R, Custom Drain Cleaning, and go Panthers.
We appreciate their sponsorship of the instant replay tonight. Northwood put 24 on the board in the first quarter, but went 3 and out on the first possession here in the third. And now looking at the ball at the 25-yard line. Natarian Tuggle is in the game, and he'll be lined up on the bottom of your screen. Deshaun Emerson covering him right there. But it's an end-around sweep. Trey Woods carrying the ball, and he gets brought down at the 29-yard line. Jamie Lewis coming off a knee surgery back in February, and he's already back out on the field. He said it took him about a game to get comfortable, but he is making plays out there for Concord.
Yeah, it's one of the things, especially with the knees in a short period of time of rehab, is really testing it and getting out and feeling it. You can do all the rehab and training, but until you get in game-like action, you can't really tell how you're going to be comfortable with it.
2nd and 6. Concord stacking the line of scrimmage, and Raider throws. There's Tuggle, ball knocked away. Who's got it? Northwood came up with it. Seth Russell. It will be good for a first down if the flag is not against Northwood. And it is an ineligible man downfield against Northwood.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They've committed to what they do and are here to serve you and your plumbing, heating, and air cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting relationships.
Ball marched back to the 24-yard line, 5-yard penalty. That is the 8th infraction whistled against Northwood tonight. So it's 2nd and 11. Raider, pump, throwing for Tuggle. He's behind his man, and the flags come out. Deshaun Emerson had the hands all over him like he was a prom date.
Tuggle was calling for the flag, and the ball wasn't even close to him at that time because he knew he wasn't going to be able to get to it because his jersey was being held that whole time.
So they were yanking on the back of Tuggle's jersey. You'll get another look at it here on the Moore Custom Drain Cleaning replay. That will tend to slow you down.
Looked like he had not just one, but 2 hands on his shoulder.
Well, you got to make sure. So the Panthers get the first down. Concord whistled for its 7th penalty for 70 yards. And on 1st and 10, Raider, play action, throws the screen, and he's got his man. That is Caden Lone going out of bounds after he picks up the first down. So Lone, who had been the quarterback throughout the season and has thrown a touchdown pass tonight, had another one called back, gets his 2nd reception of the night, good for 12 yards. Raider now with 218 yards passing on the night. Midway through the third quarter. Concord showing blitzers, and here they come. Raider hit as he throws, and Tuggle couldn't get back to the ball.
Oh, wow. I know the ball was underthrown, but you got to be able to try going for the ball as the defender as well.
And Deshaun Emerson showed little interest in that, but no flag thrown that time.
Wouldn't it be great to work for a company where their employees are the most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance, because RushCore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. To learn more about joining the RushCore family and a $1,000 sign-on bonus, visit rushcore.com.
2nd and 10. Raider again with the pump fake. He's airing it out on the far side for J.J. Payne, and he couldn't make the over-the-shoulder catch.
Raiders pass intended for J.J. Payne. Incomplete.
J.J. having a little bit of a rough night. He does have one touchdown catch tonight, but he has had 2 balls stripped away from him. And then that ball he wishes he had back as well.
I don't know about you, but if I threw as many deep balls as Raiders been throwing tonight, I'd have to ice that arm after this game.
Well, my ball would not be going as deep as his. I tried to throw a couple back to some kids before the game tonight, and I think I was lucky to make it 25 yards. 3rd and 10, and a timeout being called by Northwood here. We'll take it as well. 5:32 to go third quarter. Panthers lead at 24-6 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Electrical Workers of Local 153. They are making our communities brighter since 1914. Chuck Pregame and Bo Hunt with you from Jim Andrews Field in Napanee, where the home team, the Northwood Panthers, leads Concord tonight by a count of 24-6. Next week, we're down in Walkerton, where the Baron of Walkerton, John Barron, trying to keep his team undefeated tonight against South Bend St. Joe. They await a visit from longtime rival Jimtown. Should be a fun one. Jimtown and John Glenn just head-knocking, snot-bubbling hits all over the place when those two get together. Friday night, 11. Saturday morning at 9 on TV 46.
An NIC matchup, but the old NSC battling it out next week.
In the NIC small school division, where that Penn Cathedral game tonight, probably a very interesting clash over at TCU Freed Field as they were going back and forth early on in that one.
Yeah, a lot of people really didn't give Penn a chance in that game with Cathedral coming up here. But early on, close game, 1-point game last we had checked.
On 1st and 10, it's a double reverse, and Keegan Stats gets past Cody Byler, but he can't get by Lance Army. Ball popped loose. No, that's not a ball, it's a shoe. And Army makes the stop well behind the line of scrimmage back at the 48-yard line. It'll be 4th and 13.
We talked about how explosive this Northwood team can be, and they scored their first 17 points in the first 8 minutes of the game. And now, since then, only 7 points have been put up by them on the board.
Caden Lone lines up in punt formation. Lone with a good kick here. Ben Creek will let it hit. Takes a sideways roll inside the 15 all the way down to the 11. So beautiful job by Lone, 41 yards, no return, and poor field position for the Minutemen, who try to rally from an 18-point deficit.
Goshen Home Medical is a proud supporter of Concord and Northwood Athletics. Goshen Home Medical serves our community, help your patients live their best lives. Visit their location on South Main.
So Hudson Glantz at quarterback has acquitted himself pretty well here tonight. 160 yards of passing and 21 attempts. But he's been battered around, taking 5 sacks from this Northwood defense. Concord has to find a way to get some explosiveness here to get back in this game as time becomes part of the enemy. Lance pitches to Titus Hackworth. And Hackworth is slammed down by Ben Fatarusso on a marvelous stop. Fatarusso, the leading tackler on this Northwood team, coming in, a 5'10 senior who has worked his way up from the defensive backfield to linebacker because of the ability to make tackles like that.
Yeah, that's just a great wrap up, putting your head right in the sternum, not lowering it. Your face mask goes right there, and a good wrap up and taking him to the ground.
Great respect between these two teams. Here's Glantz to throw again. Has a man out there and is caught. Juan Ross, only one man can get him, and J.J. Payne didn't do it. Touchdown, Concord. 86 yards. What a night for Juan Ross. 2 touchdowns, 134 receiving yards. And look at this grab off the hands of the defensive back, Landon Perry, and right into the waiting hands of Ross.
Perry with just a great opportunity to pick that ball, just went off of his hands. And the tip drill, running a lot in practice, you get that tip drill and you got a great chance of scoring, and he did.
Concord, even though they missed the first PAT, will send Miguel Aguiar back out there. Trying to cut the deficit to 11. The snap, the set down, and the kick are all good. 4:02 to go in the third, and all of a sudden it's a ball game at Andrews Field again, 24-13.
Down by 11 at this point. Just a couple score game. Aguilar limping again. I was noticing that on that again. Looked like he got hit in the foot. Again, he was kind of coming limping after he kicked that ball. KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletics in Northern Indiana. KZ, a top RV manufacturer, is built on the foundation of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career.
Remember when the Warsaw-Plymouth rivalry was a big, big deal? We did the game a number of years on TV 46. Warsaw leading 70-0 late in the fourth quarter tonight.
Wow. And
Mark Curtis's team has it going on right now. Football is not the best sport at Plymouth, to say the least.
No, and Warsaw's really turning around in the last few years. Coach Jensen had some good programs come through there, but they've really been dominant the last few years as well when Coach Curtis went over there. But Plymouth just being down and 70 points with the running clock, you know they have their second or third string team in there at this point.
And Concord gets the displeasure of facing Warsaw next week.
Yeah, well, you know, they keep plugging away here, keep putting some points on the board, and they're right back in it.
I think they're seeing some maturation from their quarterback here tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, the sophomore Glantz has really stepped up tonight. You can see the confidence building with him as well.
So Miguel Aguilera about to kick off. Natarian Tuggle, always dangerous, waits back at his goal line. Tuggle with 2 touchdowns and an interception so far tonight. He had an 80-yard kickoff return last week. He won't get a chance on this one as it's in the end zone for the touchback.
The Elkhart Child Development Center is now accepting children ages 1 to 5 for educational-based child care. They accept Bright Point vouchers and go Minutemen.
These two teams have had their clamps on the NLC title for 3 of the last 4 years. Only in 2020 did Warsaw disrupt the flow of the title between Northwood and Concord. So a huge game here tonight for Craig Kaler and the Minutemen, for Nate Andrews and the Panthers, because the winner finds themselves maybe not in the driver's seat, but certainly one of the top contenders for this conference title.
Yeah, I mean, the opening week of the NLC conference, you can't afford to have an opening week loss, because with the top contenders, it's only going to be 1 or maybe 2 losses if there's a tie in there, but it's probably only 1 loss.
Owen Rader puts Keegan Stats in motion, fakes it to him, screen pass to Wes Yoder. Yoder with blockers in front. Yoder sandwiched and goes down at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 20 on the play. 3 catches, 43 yards tonight for Yoder. To me, this is a critical possession for both teams. If Concord can get a stop here and get the ball back, only down 11 going into the fourth, they've still got a shot. Northwood could really drive a nail in the coffin with a score on this drive. Handoff, that's Caden Lone. Lone powers his way up to the 45-yard line. Took a lot of Minutemen to bring him down. Lance Army down there at the bottom of the pile along with Chris Adams.
Finally, an IT company that not only provides stellar technical support, but also partners with clients and help them use technology to move forward. Learn more at 574it.com. That's 574it.com.
2nd and 6, and a timeout called by Craig Kaler and the Minutemen with 3:06 to go here in the third quarter. 24-13 in favor of Northwood. You're watching high school football on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. Craig Kaler talking to his defense over on the far side. Huge possession here in this game. Concord has rallied from a 24-point deficit to close the gap to 11 at 24-13 with 3:06 to go here in the third quarter. Northwood looking at a 2nd and 4 from its own 44-yard line. By the way, an interesting development tonight in college football. Virginia Tech is playing Old Dominion. They had to hold up the game because the coaches trying to get back into the press box were stuck in the elevator at halftime.
Was that home field advantage?
Maybe it was somebody sending a message to the coaches. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that too.
2nd and 6. Owen Rader at quarterback. Keeps it himself and gets greeted rather rudely. Wow, did he get smacked down.
Concord D-line just putting the pressure on, bringing the end around, just blitzing off the corner. Just a great job there.
Joseph Moon about put Rader on another planet there. Loss of 4 on the play. Rader 8 carries for -25 tonight. And the Northwood rushing game in negative numbers overall. It's 3rd and 10.
Craig Kaler did talk about this defense being one of the biggest things that's really been helping this team succeed. And you can see them all standing up now.
Oh, there's an offsides call against Moon. That'll be 5 yards.
They were going to bring the house there, all standing in the 2-point stance rather than getting down.
Craig Kaler has patience, but it's getting tried tonight.
A lot of times when you got a younger team, you're trying to figure some things out, and you have quite a few mistakes. Mental mistakes is what you call those. You got to limit those.
Again, they're looking for Tuggle. He got by his man. He made the catch. He's headed towards the end zone down at the 10. What a play by Natarian Tuggle. A 45-yard reception. He has 175 yards on 4 catches tonight.
There you can see a great replay of the more custom drain cleaning replay. Just a great throw by Rader as well, and great job by Tuggle of pulling that in. Couldn't quite make his 3rd touchdown of the night, but a big pickup for the Northwood Panthers.
I have to admit, I was a little surprised they went with single coverage on Tuggle that time.
Is that Kane Lone lining up at quarterback now down in the inside the 10-yard line?
And Ethan Evers in the game as a short yardage running back. So Nate Andrews with a lot of versatility in the packages he can use on offense here. And he'll go with the experienced Lone down inside the 10 on 1st and goal. It's Evers on the carry. The battering ram trying to work his way down, got to about the 6. Joseph Moon in on the tackle that time for Concord. It's 2nd and goal. And how much faith do you have in that offensive line? Do you run Evers through there again? Of course, you've got terrific receivers on the outside, including Tuggle, who already has 2 TDs tonight. Lone gives it to Evers again. Nowhere to run. Chris Adams, Lance Army in on the stop. A loss of 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Big thing with this type of offense is they're kind of spread out. It's more of a spread offense. And when you're running those run plays, they're not typical a goal line type of offense. So it's really hard to pick up those yards, those short yardage plays.
They brought Parker Philly and Seth Russell inside here to give them some extra blockers, and they widened Tuggle just a little bit. Lone, Tuggle, dropped. It might have been batted away, but the way Tuggle's doing the push-ups, it makes me think that he didn't hang on to that one.
Yeah, decent throw right there. Might have been pretty decent coverage, little tight there, window to throw into, but with the kicker that they're able to have, they could put up another 3 points on the board.
Dominic DeFreitas is perfect on 4 field goal attempts this year, and this won't be much more than an extra point. A 23-yard field goal for DeFreitas, who knocked one in from 33 earlier tonight. The kick is up. It is good, and it makes it a 14-point lead for Northwood at 27-13 late in the 3rd. A reminder that your home for college football this year is Pulse FM. Purdue and Indiana have already played a game, but now they'll get ready for week 2 next weekend. There will be a 1-0 team at Ross-Ade Stadium, the Indiana State Sycamores, as they take on the Purdue Boilermakers next Saturday afternoon at 4. And then Paul Mawala, the former Penn standout, comes in with the Idaho Vandals as they take on the Indiana Hoosiers Saturday night at 8 at Memorial Stadium. Big Ten football all season long on Pulse FM.
What a Big Ten game last night between Purdue and Penn State. The Penn State comeback, 7 lead changes in that game last night.
Now, what did you think of Jeff Brom towards the end of the game? That he received a lot of criticism for not running the football and taking time off the clock. On the other hand, the argument is Aiden O'Connell is his best player, and you put the hands of the ball in the best player.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. You put the ball in the hands of your best player. You count on your best players to be your leaders out there. And it's not like the biggest thing is a lot of times you'll get the criticism of you're trying not to lose. He was going out there, he was trying to win.
Yeah.
You're trying to win. And then if he would have went out there and the same thing would have happened, they would have run the ball and took up time and they still get beat, then you're like, oh, now you're playing not to lose. And so it's a two-edged sword, and it's one of the things the coach is going to make the decision, and I think he did a great job leaving the choice and the fate of the game in the hands of his best players.
27-13, Northwood leads it. Dominic DeFreitas about to kick off. Craig Kaler would love to get a big play here out of his special teams, but that means DeFreitas doesn't kick it into the end zone, which he has been very good at doing tonight. DeFreitas on the approach. And this one will go into the end zone for the touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20.
Who doesn't love a good burger on the grill? A melt in your mouth steak. You can have it all from farm fresh beef, Maple Crest farm to table. From our farm to your table. Find us on social media. That's Maple Crest farm to table. Maple Crest farm to table.
Say it enough times, you're going to get it, right?
I will get it. Yes.
33 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, 27-13. It's been a long ball game, folks. Hudson Glantz looking to throw, gets away from pressure, and he's going to run for it. And Glantz chased out of bounds by Luke Miller at about the 27-yard line. So pickup of 7 on the play for Glantz, his lone positive rushing play of the night. Concord with only 14 yards rushing, but that's mainly because quarterback sacks are thrown into the rushing yards, not the passing yards.
Well, Northwood, I believe they finally in positive rushing.
It's close.
So we have less than 25 total yards rushing in this game, is what you're saying.
Titus Hackworth not exactly going to add to the total there as he loses a couple of yards. Hackworth now with 16 carries on the night, but just 40 yards. What a job by this Northwood defense on him, because it's not a Northwood defense with a tremendous amount of size out there, and yet they've been able to come up with plays. And the third quarter has come to an end here at Jim Andrews Field in Napanee. Emotions running high from both sides in this 55th renewal of the rivalry between Northwood and Concord. And right now it's the Panthers who are puffy-chested. They lead at 27-13 after 3 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the IHSAA, partnering with TV 46 for over 30 years. 27-13 in favor of Northwood. The Panther student section loud and proud down there tonight. As we come back up for a Bills Heating sideline report with Bo Hunt. Your thoughts on this one through 3?
Definitely Northwood's a real deal. They got the offense, the defense, and I think Concord's a little bit underrated than what people really think they are. Their defense is a very, very solid defense. Offense needs some motivation to get moving a little bit. They got a sophomore back there, quarterback, that's getting better as the weeks go on. And you can see the growth from the first half to the second half just tonight.
Looking at a 3rd and 5 right here for Concord from its own 26-yard line. Hudson Glantz has time. He throws. He's got Juan Ross, who has had a big night tonight. And Ross continues that as he picks up a first down sponsored by KZRV with a 15-yard pickup. Ross has become a favorite target of Glantz, who has now thrown for 261 yards tonight.
Fourth quarter being sponsored by Goshen Home Medical.
1st and 10 from its own 41. Concord trailing by 2 touchdowns. Certainly not out of this one yet. It's a pitch to Titus Hackworth, and Hackworth couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard that time.
For over 30 years, St. Andrews Products has set the standard for apparel, business gifts, and promotional items. We support great charities like Folds of Honor and the American Dunes Golf Course in Grand Haven, Michigan. We can help your cause. Contact us at sales@standrewscorp.com. At St. Andrews, your expectations become our standards.
Ben Fatarusso with the tackle that time for Northwood. 2nd and 12. Lance with time fires a bullet, and Fatarusso knocked it away. It was intended, it appeared that time, for Javon Shepard, but Fatarusso was right there to swat it away. It'll be 3rd and 12. Congratulations to Matt Thacker and Fairfield. They are now 3-0 after a 20-7 win over Central Noble tonight.
I believe they beat 2 5A schools their first 2 weeks.
Goshen and South Bend Adams. 3rd and 12. Lance with time has to roll out and throw over the head of his intended receiver. Northwood dropped a bunch of guys into coverage that time. It looked like they had about 7 deep, and Glantz really couldn't find an open receiver.
I think this is kind of going to be interesting here. Northwood up 14. 10:47 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Are they able to run the clock and actually run some time? Because when you get down in the playoffs and you get in this situation, you're going to be coming up against good teams where you have to be able to control the clock and take some time off and not just keep it in the air.
Craig Kaler taking the chance that his defense can get a quick stop here. C.J. Kuhn, the deep man now for Northwood. And it's a fake punt. And it looks like it's Armin Koltukian who wants to throw it, has nowhere to run, and he's knocked down at his 39-yard line, and Northwood special teams come through. Nobody fooled on that one. Koltukian with no gain, and he seems a little bit worse for wear as he comes off.
Well, as you can see the play here develop, there really wasn't any receivers that were getting downfield. So even if he did throw the ball, they were going to be about 6-7 yards short. The guys didn't quite get downfield far enough on that play.
More custom drain cleaning with the replay. And now Northwood's sitting pretty with a 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. That young man, Owen Rader, has thrown for 283 yards tonight. (13 out of 20 with an interception. Rader turns, throws. There's Wes Yoder out in the flat. Blockers in front. Yoder down the sideline. Koltukian brings him down at the 10.
Northwood
pick up a 29.
Different set there, putting 4 receivers out to the right, setting up that screen, and as soon as they snapped the ball, they went out, made the blocks, and there was only 3 guys to block. That's why he had a huge hole, and the linebacker had to come out and get him.
Yoder with 4 receptions for 72 yards tonight. They're down in short yardage territory, but this time Owen Rader stays in the game. And they'll run it 1st and goal from the 10. Tuggle has man coverage out on the bottom of your screen, past the bottom of your screen. Rader looks like he might be changing the play. Play clock down to 5. Rader just got the snap off, slant pattern. Keegan Stats. Can he get in? No, he's brought down at the 1. Keegan Stats with his 2nd grab of the night.
Northwood hurrying up to the line. Concord's trying to get some subs in the game.
And a timeout called by Northwood with 9:43 to go. Actually, it's called by Concord with 9:43 to go. As far out on the field as Craig Kaler was, I had to assume that the official pointed in the wrong direction.
I think he was pointing at Craig rather than that direction. KZ Recreational Vehicles is proud to support athletes in Northern Indiana. KZ is a top RV manufacturer. Is built on the foundation of integrity and family culture. Work for KZ and drive home with a sense of belonging, pride, and a great career.
So Nitarian Tuggle, number 3 down there in that Northwood huddle. His nickname is Nitro, and he does tend to go boom. Came into the game going 27.6 per touch this year. Well, tonight he's had 4 receptions for 175 yards, so that's going to boost that average a little bit.
Just a tad.
He has had big kickoff returns. He has had an interception in this game. He has 2 touchdowns. And so the only question here is, does Northwood decide to run him on a slant pattern, a fade, or do they just run the ball for the yard and the touchdown?
Yeah, and I think that's what they're discussing right now. And we'll see if maybe Ethan Evers maybe comes in the game for that short down back, or what they do, and maybe Cade Lone get underneath center. It's just a quick half yard and get up there.
Lone is in the huddle, and he seems to be the one taking inventory of players, so it's going to be both him and Evers out there, which tends to indicate they're going to go power and run the football. And from the 1, you should be able to.
Get a little bit of push by the line, and running back comes in, drives his leg, quarterback pushes him the rest of the way in.
Concord defensive line has been stout against the run, though, tonight, so we'll see. And they do run from the shotgun. Lone keeps it himself off the right side, and he did not get in. He's short of the goal line. It'll be 3rd down.
Looks like they're putting him about the half-inch line.
In situations like this, I'm always a little bit befuddled as to why the quarterback is not under center and why he is standing 7 yards back when it's 3rd and a foot.
I understand that, but if you don't have that and don't work on that, we saw it just last week.
Sure.
They went under center. Niles, they had 3 bad snaps, quarterback exchanges, and they do that all the time. So when you get down here and you don't work on it, then it's something that, you don't work on. You're going to have that ability. But then again, when you take a shotgun snap, you have the thoughts of possibly losing 5-6 yards right there.
Well, 4 on the losses by Ethan Evers. And so now it's 4th down and goal, and a timeout called by the officials as a Concord player is down for cramping.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a proud supporter of high school athletics. Teamwork is our specialty, working with industry giants like SpaceX and Boeing. For over 60 years, excellence has been our standard, and that won't change. Like the teams in this game, we're always working toward a great finish.
So Nate Andrews with the decision to make here on this 4th down play. And he is now the longest tenured coach at a current NLC school. Tom Wagaman has been around the NLC longer, but he's bounced around to different schools. Nate has been at one school longer than any current NLC coach at 9 seasons.
Yeah, and when he came in, he was the young one coming in with a lot of veterans in the NLC, and had a few shuffles go around here in the last 9 years.
Well, he's had some success here as he took a Northwood team to state and has also been able to win a couple of sectionals. Upset tonight down in Bremen as the Lions knock off Marion 35-31. That is a big win for Jordan Leeper and his squad. Here it's 27-13 in favor of Northwood. The two teams huddled as a Concord player hobbles off the field now under his own power. I believe that's Lance Army going off with cramping issues. Not surprising for a lineman who plays both ways.
That's for sure. Just a big thank you to our sponsors tonight. More custom drain cleaning on the instant replay, and KZRV on the first downs. Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn Associates on the scoring. Cook's Pizza on the weather. 574 Technologies on the first quarter. Miller's Senior Living Community in Wakarusa for the second and third. And Goshen Home Medical for the fourth quarter.
Owen Rader back in the game on 4th and goal from the 4. Tuggle has single coverage past the bottom of your screen. Rader throws, touchdown, Parker Philly. Philly catches a touchdown pass for the first time this season, and Northwood extends the lead to 33-13. Everybody was looking to the left. Rader did a good job with his eyes directing him that way, then came back to his right to Philly.
What a performance by Rader tonight as well. I mean, just coming in. We don't know if he was told he was going to start before the game or earlier this week, because talking with Nate, it wasn't going to be the starter. So coming into this game and the first NLC, getting your first start here of this season, just a great job by Rader.
Here's the extra point by Dominic DeFreitas, is up and good. So with 8:39 to go, Northwood in command. They lead at 34-13 on 46. And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free, just the way that Owen Rader is making this game look tonight for the Northwood Panthers. First start of the year, 16-23 with a pick, 3 touchdowns, 324 passing yards.
That 324 passing yards has been spread around. 7, 8 receivers, I believe, tonight.
Let's see, I've got him for 7.
7 different receivers tonight, spreading around. Of course, Tuggle with 170 of those himself.
So quite the game for Rader and the Panthers tonight as they look to go 1-0 in the Northern Lakes Conference. Dominic DeFreitas ready to put it on the tee. Juan Ross and Deshaun Emerson, again, the deep people for Concord. Whistle blows. DeFreitas on the approach. High spinning kick. It'll be fielded back at the 2 by Emerson. Emerson trying to get around the left side, and Seth Russell says no, sir. He brings him down at the 16.
Great coverage on the special teams of getting down there, staying in your lane and not getting out of it and making that play.
How about the job John Barron is doing in Walkerton? He beats St. Joe tonight 8-3, and the John Glenn Falcons, when we see them next week on TV 46, will be 3-0 entering that game with Jimtown.
What a defensive battle, and that's one of those low-scoring games that anything goes somebody else's way, even late in the game. Just one possession, one turnover, one mistake, and that defensive play that both teams sustained throughout that game is just thrown out the way. But great win by Coach Barron.
1st and 10 at the 17. The pitch to Titus Hackworth, and he slips. I imagine by about this time of night, as humid as it's been in the area lately, the dew's starting to form. It gets a little slippery.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things when you get later in the game. You get a little bit of field turf. You can see right there he cuts on that inside foot, and when you're running on natural grass out here, you have to plant on the outside foot. The inside foot, when you're going to cut on that, you get on the outside part of your foot, and you lose traction, and you're not able to actually make that cut, and that's how he slipped.
Glamps loads up. He wants to go deep and overthrows his man. He was looking for Michael Campanello, but Trey Woods was with him stride for stride.
Who doesn't love a good burger on the grill? A melt-in-your-mouth steak? Well, you can have it all with farm fresh beef from Maple Crest Farm to Table. From our farm to your table, find us on social media. That's Maple Crest Farm to Table.
What an excellent job on that read by Bo Hunt right there.
I had to give him an extra read. Just a moth was flying around the last time.
A little distracting.
We had the window
3rd
open.
and 12, and the pass is incomplete on the screen. It'll be 4th down.
I blame the moth.
I am just impressed that you decided to get right back on the bicycle there and said, we're going for it right here.
Yep.
4th down in a punting situation. Miguel Aguiar will come on to boot it. C.J. Kuhn will back up and be the deep man here. It's interesting that they switched to Kuhn as J.J. Payne had a pretty good night fielding punts back there.
Yeah, I felt his aggressive. I like the way he fields it. It's one of the first people that I've liked back there, the way he fields it.
Kuhn muffs the punt, and Concord gets on it. Joseph Moon with his 2nd fumble recovery of the night.
Yeah, and I mean, Payne's in the game, and they made the switch. And
now you can make the argument you're up by 21. You're giving other people an opportunity, but to me, you've cracked the door a little bit here. Hudson Glantz still in at quarterback. He has thrown 27 passes tonight. He's completed 13 of them, but he has thrown for 261 yards. So while the percentage isn't strong, the big play production has been there. It's a new running back in the game here for Concord as they give it off to Shaman Wells-Moore, and Wells-Moore barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Just 9 yards rushing tonight for Concord. They've been able to get some productivity through the air with a couple of touchdown passes to Juan Ross.
Slim pickings on the ground for both teams tonight.
Glantz fakes it, and he gets down after a pickup of about 3. Ethan Evers was coming for him in a hurry. And if I saw the 6'1", 208-pounder making a beeline for me, I'd get down too.
Yeah, I was just going to say something about that hit. And I know it was always our first game of the year when we played Northwood opening game, but when I got done with that game, we were so sore after that game because you knew you were in a battle and you took some hits.
Jamie Lewis in the game now, running back. But Glantz is looking to throw, and here they come. Caleb Branham with the sack that time. And that'll be a loss of about 7 on the play. I have the Panthers for 6 sacks tonight against Hudson Glantz.
Definitely a team effort on defense tonight. The ability to put pressure on Glantz in the backfield and really stop the running game as well.
Well, they're giving C.J. Kuhn another chance back here to field the punt back at his 17-yard line. Aguiar gets it out of there, was nearly blocked. Kuhn gonna let it hit, and it'll roll dead at about the 16. So a 34-yard punt with no return. Northwood takes over 1st and 10, trying to kill the last 540 of this one and go to 3-0 on the year. They are ranked number 6 in the IFCA poll, number 7 in the AP poll. Clearly, we don't see everybody in 4A, but
yeah,
you see enough around. What do you think?
I think they're ranked right where they should be, right in the middle of that pack. They haven't really proved themselves against any top team at this moment, but they have the qualities of a top 5 team or a top 10 team with their ability to have big plays and put up 30, 40 points a game with just the passing game. And the running game's sure to come here sooner than later, I believe.
But Owen Rader has been spectacular at quarterback tonight. He has thrown for 324 yards, 16 of 23 with an interception and 3 touchdowns. Rader will hand it off here, though, as the Panthers go to the running game. And Wes Yoder takes it up to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 9. Yoder has had a pretty good night. 4 catches for 72 yards, 23 yards on the ground. He gives them a versatile weapon out of the backfield.
Yeah, very serviceable back there, being able to come out of the backfield, has good hands. He reads the ball well, or the holes well, up the middle in the handoff, making sure that he actually picks up positive yardage all the time.
And he helps fulfill the quota of Yoders on a Northwood team. 2nd and 1. It's Yoder again, slashing off the right side. Cuts to the outside. Darian Decker hangs on to him at the 32-yard line, but not until he gets the first down after a pickup of 7. So Northwood trying to answer one of the challenges you gave them, which is, are they ability to run the clock late in the game?
Late in the game, and the last couple of plays, they've shown that they're able to run that clock, run some time, and actually keep the ball on the ground. And I'm sure that's what Coach Nate Andrews talked to his players about before this drive was, let's step it up. Offensive line, this is your time right here. Win this ball game right here and run this clock out.
Rader waits for the snap. And he'll throw it out in the flat, a little too high for Trey Woods. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
A lot of times people wonder about a pass play like that, but that's usually a very high percentage completion play. So you usually run that play, just a quick screen out there because it's usually a high completion percentage. But unfortunately that time it was incomplete pass and stopped the clock.
A lot of the passes that Rader has thrown tonight have been deep balls, but he has shown a proclivity for that pass out into the flat. Here's the handoff again to Yoder. This time Concord saw it coming, and they stop him for a loss of about 3 on the play. Armin Koltukian in there again on the stop. We told you how he never comes off the field, and it shows once again. Actually make it just a loss of 1 that time on the play. Bo Hunt will head down to the field to talk with our player of the game. In the meantime, Northwood looking at a 3rd and 11 right here. Rader with the pump fake. wants to throw it up for Natarian Tuggle, and Tuggle makes the grab. Look out, there he goes. Touchdown. Number 3 has 3 tonight. 69 yards, no flags. 5 catches, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, he also picked off a pass earlier in the game. Other than that, he hadn't done much. The more custom drain cleaning replay shows an incredible night for Natarian Tuggle. He looks a little bit hobbled as he comes off the field. Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point. The touchdown sponsored by Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates. The kick is up and good, 41-13. And the combination of Rader and Tuggle, something to behold tonight here at Andrews Field. You can't say enough about the job of Owen Rader in that first start either. 17 for 25 for 393 yards and 4 touchdowns. Whew, have a night, kids. So this is a dangerous Northwood team in a sectional that, quite frankly, looks a little bit easier for Northwood this year in Class 4A. And they will square off with Northridge next week over in Middlebury. And let me tell you, that's going to be a head knocker too, because Northridge is giving Mishawaka all it can handle tonight. That game tied at 31 late in the fourth quarter over at Steele Stadium. Bo Hunt down on the field. You got a pretty big question to answer here, man, and that is player of the game tonight. I think you might have to go with the combo platter with Rader and Tuggle, don't you?
I'm definitely going to try. I think it's one of those things where both of them had spectacular games. You know, Rader wasn't supposed to be the starter tonight. Comes out, throws for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then Tuggle over 225 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just a spectacular performance from this offense from those 2 stars. Chuck?
Absolutely. We have not seen a passing night like this in some time, nor see a receiver as explosive as Natarian Tuggle in quite some time. Every time he touches the football, it seems like magic happens. He did not have a catch tonight of less than 33 yards, and that was the first one he had in the game. So Dominic DeFreitas will tee it up with 3:16 left. Concord had rallied back from a 24-point deficit, got within 11, and now Northwood has scored the last 17 points of this one. So DeFreitas waits for the signal. And it's a line drive kick that'll be taken by Deshaun Emerson back at the 1. Emerson weaving his way. Emerson still on his feet all the way up to the 38-yard line. Very good return by the Concord speedster. But there is an injured player down on the field, and it might be Emerson. He seems a little worse for wear, and he's just going to lay down here, and the trainers will come out to see him. We'll take a timeout, let you know what happens. 3:08 to go in this one. Northwood up 41-13 on 46. Deshaun Emerson slowly going off the field under his own power. That's the good news. So Concord will give Ben Creek a few snaps here at quarterback. He is the number 2 in Craig Kaler's attack. He has carried the ball 4 times this year, and he will carry it a 5th right here to pick up about 3. Creek, a 5'10", 145-pound junior, who is also the starting safety on this team. Northwood with a lot of the second unit players from the defense out on the field now, getting some playing time with 2:42 to go. Creek from the gun. Hands it off. And Shaman Wells Moore with the carry that time. Picks up about 2 on the play. Looking at a 3rd and 5. Kent Miller in on the tackle that time, a 5'8", 174-pound sophomore. We talked about filling the Yoder quota. Boy, they have filled the Miller quota on this Northwood roster. You got Keith and Kent and Luke. And they've all had their names called tonight. 3rd and 5. Handoff. Again, it's Wells Moore, and he battles to the 46-yard line, a couple of yards short of the first down. So we'll see how Craig Kaler decides to play this right here on 4th and 2. But with it a 28-point game, you got nothing to lose. You might as well go for it from the 46. Nate Andrews signals out the defense from the Northwood sideline. Panthers about to go to 3-0 on the year, while Concord will drop to 1-2. 4th down and 2. Creek keeps it himself, has the first down, sponsored by KZRV, all the way up to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 10 for the Minuteman signal caller. Concord now well into positive yards for rushing yardage tonight. Hudson glanced through it for 261 yards and a couple of touchdowns in his start. Here's Wells Moore trying to turn the corner and nothing doing as Michael Anderson comes up and makes the stop. A sophomore defensive back who showed some pretty good speed right there. Loss of about 1 on the play. And this could be the final play of the game. 2nd and 11. Under 30 seconds to go. Creek will keep it himself around the left side and takes it to the 41-yard line, and that should do it from here at Jim Andrews Field in Napanee as the Northwood Panthers go to 1-0 in Northern Lakes Conference play, taking the opener from their rival, the Concord Minutemen, by a final score of 41-13. Don't go anywhere. Our St. Joe County Police Department post-game show is coming your way next, featuring interviews with the stars of the game and our electrical workers' electrifying play of the game. They'll fly the W in Napanee tonight, winning 41-13 on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
Welcome, everybody, to the St. Joe County Police Department postgame show. After a 41-13 Northwood victory over Concord, we bring you inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby with you high above the fray. If you liked passing, this was the place to be tonight. Over 650 passing yards between these two teams as Northwood and Concord aired it out. But the team that aired it out the best, the Northwood Panthers, 391 passing yards from our star of the game. Owen Rader is standing by now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with our player of the game, Owen Rader. First off, didn't know you were going to necessarily get the start tonight. You go out there, you throw for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. How does that feel?
It feels great. It feels great. It was a long process. I knew my time would come, and I just want to thank all my linemen. I couldn't do it without them. And it was a highly anticipated game. We came out here, and we showed what Northwood football was about. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for me and my team to grow.
You have 2 great receivers as well, along with some other key players, but Payne and Tuttle on the outside. Just talk about the adversity that they have in allowing you to throw that deep ball to them.
Yes, sir. Again, I couldn't do it without them either. They're crazy. You know, sometimes I'm just throwing the ball up to them, and they're just catching it. But yeah.
Defense played really well tonight too. Just talk about how stellar that defense is for the Panthers.
Our defense is great. They didn't give them anything, and they gave us a chance to step up, make plays, and see the scoreboard. It paid off.
Hey, congratulations, Owen.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you, Chuck.
And as the water tower looms about as large as this Northwood offense did tonight over Jim Andrews Field, Bo Hunt has hustled back up to the booth. You're sweating a little bit.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
blame
still
you for
warm
that.
out there.
It is a warm night, but not nearly as hot as that passing combination of Rader and Tuggle.
Yeah, just the ability for him to throw it up. And he even talked about it. A few of those plays, he was just throwing it up for him to go get it. I mean, why not when you have a receiver like that? But I have to disagree with that a little bit because I think he had the proper amount of air under almost 90% of his balls that he threw. Maybe a little short, but he gave enough air for him to get underneath them and run to those balls, and I think that was the key tonight.
And also, he mentioned the defense. The defense from Northwood played very stout. If you're honest about it, one of those Concord touchdowns was pretty lucky. It went off the hands of a defensive back into the hands of a Concord receiver, and they really stymied any attempt that Concord made at a rushing game tonight.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things was Concord's rushing offense was nil. That's one of the things that Craig Kaler really wanted to happen was to be able to run the ball, and he thought he could. But, of course, he's going to have to make some adjustments as well come next week.
Time now to look at our electrical workers' electrifying play of the game, and it wouldn't be right if we didn't give some love to Nitro Tuggle tonight. His third touchdown of the night was one that Bo just talked about. Air it out there, juggling catch, leave the defender in your wake, and then take it on into the end zone. For Tuggle tonight, 5 catches, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, truly deserving of the electrifying play of the game. You could have hung that tag on any of his touchdowns tonight. So for Northwood, they've got a battle in Middlebury next week against Northridge, a team that has taken Mishawaka down to the wire tonight, and a team that is playing with the confidence you would expect a state runner-up to play with. Concord, they got to take on a Warsaw team that put 70 on the board tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough assignment for Concord and for Northwood. I think Northwood going to Middlebury. Northridge is one of those teams that everybody kind of overlooks a little bit. And, you know, we saw them a couple weeks ago against Elkhart, and it's just like, Elkhart's a lot better than that. That's a good team. They have a good offense, they have a good defense, and they're very solid.
Yeah, we said the final score of that Elkhart game was deceiving. Northridge played much tougher than that 28-7 would indicate. And next week, we'll see the undefeated John Glenn Falcons take on Jimtown down in Walkerton. Can't wait to be down at John Hostrasser Field. Our thanks to our TV 46 crew who helped bring you tonight's game. These guys operate with skill and passion every week. Dean Korsmo showed up for setup, then went camping and turned it over to the bubbly one. Tony Beltran, Tom Ward, and Ryan Fitzpatrick turning the dials tonight. Great job by Thomas Tahara on the graphics and our camera crews as well. A reminder, high school football next week from Walkerton. Jimtown at John Glenn in the NIC Small School Division. You'll see it Friday night 11 and Saturday morning at 9. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're all over it with Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, giving you updates throughout the week. Now for the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final. Northwood 41, Concord 13. So long from Hardly Nappin', Napanee.